Fellas, we made it. This is the last show of the freaking year. The red light is on. We are officially live, and live could not describe tonight's show any better than that. Is because today we are discussing the year of 2023 in pro wrestling. This is the last show of the year of the Wrestling Wrealm Now podcast. And trust me, we don't plan on going anywhere. It's because guess what? In this realm, in this space, it's not too many guys you're going to find that do it better than us. So guess what? You have to excuse me if I happen to be on one, because lately in life, I got this chip on my shoulder. And I haven't had that similar chip on my shoulder since I was 22 years old, which is ironically the year and the age I was since we started. So with all that being said, before I get started, let me just hit this intro music, because guess what? Y'all in for a good one tonight. So please pull up your popcorn, put on your seatbelts, be ready to roll. We are officially in the building. Wrestling Wrealm, brothers, let's get it now.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yes! What you gonna do? 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 Oh yeah.
And for the last goddamn time this year, welcome to the Wrestling Wrealm Now podcast, where we take a deeper dive into the world of professional wrestling. Now, you can watch all of our Wrestling Wrealm content anytime on youtube.com/The Wrestling Wrealm. Follow us on all social media platforms, including Instagram, X, and Facebook at Wrestling Wrealm. Like, subscribe, and engage in the conversation with us. You can also download all of our audio content anytime on Anchor, Stitcher, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Watch us and subscribe to our Twitch channel at The Wrestling Wrealm. I am your host, the big guy, yours truly, the realness himself, the real Dwayne Allen. He's your host, Brother Hugh, super producer, has the third, H to the A to the S, T to the H to the E, 3 to the R to the D. He is your host, the Belt King, the guy, the only guy, Brandon, the guy. And he is your host, the man, the myth, the heart and soul of everything that we do here at the Wrestling Wrealm. Brian H. Waters in the building. Brothers, we are here. Last show of the year. Welcome to Wrestling Wrealm Now podcast. Give yourselves a hand. I'm just going to play a round of applause. The crowd is cheering for us right now. It's because they're here to celebrate all the greatness that we've done, as we celebrate all the greatness that the world of professional wrestling has done in the year of 2023. They are cheering for us. Can y'all hear it? You guys hear it?
You hear them?
They are here for it.
Loud and clear.
So we want to thank everybody that's part of the show, everybody that has joined us in the chat already. I'm glad you all joined us tonight, because we're going to go out with a bang. Now, this is not necessarily a New Year's episode, because, you know, we're a few days away from it as of this recording, but we are going to sum up all the awesomeness of 2023 on tonight's show, and we have a lot to get into, so let me not waste any time. So let me just jump into the logistics of everything and just advertise a little bit, if you don't mind. With that being said, if you would like to advertise with the Wrestling Wrealm, guess what? You can email us at wrestlingwrealm@gmail.com with the subject line saying advertise. We will reach out to you about further details, give you a price list, sponsor one of our segments, do business with us at wrestlingwrealm@gmail.com. And guess what? All Wrestling Wrealm apparel and merchandise, head over to wrestlingwrealm.com. T-shirts, hoodies, mugs, and more. Support the brand. Be a proud wrestling fan. Grab yourself a t-shirt, a hoodie, and guess what? Going into 2024, we're going to do some live unboxing of our nice and famous Wrestling Wrealm gear. We're going to be pushing this in 2024 a little bit more than usual, but if you want to jump ahead of the race before the demand becomes too much and you won't have access to it, do yourself a favor. Shop Wrestling Wrealm at wrestlingwrealm.com. It's pretty simple. Like I said, t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, and more. That is the place you want to be. Also, for all exclusive shows and bonus material, subscribe to our Patreon channel, patreon.com/the wrestling_realm. All exclusive shows and bonus material. We're revving up Patreon as well. Brian H just dropped some heat today. Brian H, tell the people what you talked about today, if you don't mind.
Man, look, it is 25 years from the night that Kevin Nash defeated Goldberg. So I just wanted to go take a trip back down memory lane. So make sure y'all check that out. Also go on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, Instagram, and Threads, because I got a short video clip of it. I work hard on this stuff. So yeah, check it out. But only $1. Pay the one.
Pay the one. You can subscribe for just as low as $1. Do yourself a favor. Patreon.com/ hold on, put it back up for you. The wrestling_realm for all exclusive shows and bonus material. Now, that being said, WWE is in the middle of their holiday tour, but guess what? The Ravens are making their playoff race. So do yourself a favor. And if you're looking to purchase tickets to concerts, live shows, sporting events, and more, especially the Ravens, head over to SeatGeek.com where you can use the promo code Wrestling Wrealm for any one-time purchase of $50 or more. Listen, times have changed and the economy is different, and tickets these days are going up. So listen, if you want to get some halfway decent seats, the Wrestling Wrealm is here to do you a favor. Do yourself a favor and save $20 on any one-time purchase of $50 or more using promo code Wrestling Wrealm. And guess what? Once you use that one-time purchase of $50 or more, sign up with another email address and save yourself another $20 for your next purchase of $50 or more using promo code Wrestling Wrealm. Shout out to the Baltimore Ravens playoff bound. Yep. That was the fine print that they put in those commercials. You got to say it real fast. Now,
yo, I'm triggered because when you got to edit those things, especially for the gambling stuff, you got to yeah, and then all the states.
Wow,
because everybody got different rules. Yeah.
Oh, that is true. Everybody's got different state regulations.
Yes.
But guess what, though? You know who doesn't have state regulations? Championship culture. Ladies and gentlemen, Championship Culture, the latest show, the latest, biggest brand that has come to the Wrestling Realm, has done wonderful work. Brother Brandon, the guy got a belt king, and Brother Hugh has a third, have brought us some phenomenal content when it comes to Championship Culture. That's exactly what it is. But they wrapped up some time ago 25 complete episodes, which encompass season 1. And I guess a week or two ago, they made the announcement that season 2 is coming soon. Another 25 episodes. Is that correct, gentlemen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yep. Another 25 episodes.
25 more episodes for season 2.
Starting January 23rd. Are we still doing the same time?
You know it. Tuesdays, 8 p.m. And I will say this, we had 25 plus one. Let's just call it 25 and a bonus. Because remember, we had a bonus episode right around Christmas time. So you had a chance to check it out. Don't do it.
I'm mad that I removed the Christmas graphic, wrapping happiness.
But okay, so guess what, Dwayne? I do have something else for you.
Okay,
that'll get you excited. Okay, so with season 2 coming, we know episode 1 is titled "Those Wrestling Girls."
Correct.
I got an exclusive just for you.
Oh, you actually giving us exclusive? Hold on, let me put.
Yeah, I got an exclusive for you. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, for like 3 weeks straight, I've been trying to get them to give me tidbits about what's coming to season 2. And Brother Hugh, he shakes his head and goes, "I ain't telling you nothing." See, Brandon he'll play along. He might go along with it. Brother Hugh, look at you with the shades on, so I ain't telling you squat. But so the fact that he's saying something about this. Okay, go ahead.
If you pay attention to the way that championship culture moves, I'm just going to say this about championship culture. It's always right there in front of you. We leave like little traces and little things everywhere, right? And there's been a couple of TikToks. Yeah, it's been a couple of TikToks lately. But I'm going to tell you this. Right now, here today, episode 2 of season 2 is simply titled The Last Box.
Wait a minute, say this again. You said episode 2 of season 2 is called The Last. So this is the coveted last belt box that you said you got in the mail, and you've opened up. How many have you opened up so far?
How many have I opened?
It's got to be 4. Was it 3? It's had to be 3 or 4 because you said you ordered 5, and I feel like we've seen. I don't know. See, I lost count. This is exactly what happened to me during the Bray Wyatt days.
That's the whole point.
No, this is.
But I can tell you, pay attention to social media because January 1st, I think Championship Culture will be having a huge media presence. I'm not going to speak more on that, but I just want to give you that tidbit that season 1 had 25 episodes and a bonus because it was sister season. Season 2, episode 1, those wrestling girls, which will be a live show, which I know Dwayne will definitely love. January 23rd.
It comes to I want to be a part of the show. Every live show I have to be a part of.
And season 2, episode 2, is called The Last Box.
I feel like we're going to probably get some belt unveilings.
I'm just saying, it's called whatever you want to think about, the last anything. But it's now you've been putting numbers on stuff.
Okay.
But you haven't been keeping count. That's the sad part.
Listen to me.
That is true.
I can barely keep count what day it is half the time. I know it's Wednesday because we have a show to do. But no, it's awkward for me though. But it's okay. Listen to me. I'm happy that Championship Culture is returning for season 2. There has been a lot that Championship. I've been watching what you guys have done outside the space before the show has developed, and you have mentioned on the show before that, of course, yours truly, the Realness, has been awarded 5 episodes that I have been allowed to co-produce and be a part of, which I'm extremely happy about. I'm a belt guy in a lot of different ways, and like I said, you gave us that bonus episode of Championship Culture called Unwrapping Happiness, and you unveiled two championship belts unboxings for just in time for the holidays. And that was kind of like I see that as like, okay, this is the the pre-special to introduce season 2 to us, and I'm really looking forward to it. But with that being said, this is the holiday season, and before we continue to keep going, and we'll stay on Championship Culture for a reason because there's a lot of good things going on. I got to participate in a kind of an impromptu Championship Culture moment. And I'm going to unveil one of those episodes that I get a chance to partake in, right? So a few weeks ago, there's a conversation, story time with the Realness, Championship Culture edition. So you guys have been taking we've been hitting the road a lot this year in 2023 because this is what we're talking about. And the Wrestling Wrealm has been sporting our championship titles, these belts. We have tag titles, we have world titles, everything that we have been been graciously given to by Brother Brad. Have we put that video up of us actually getting the belts? I don't know.
No,
I don't think so.
We got to find out footage and put it on Patreon. It's a very emotional moment, and I'll admit it. As big as I am, but we were able to, like I said, take part. And you guys have been hitting the road and doing all kind of stuff. And like I said, my life is kind of up and down in a lot of different ways. But
that tag belt traveled.
The tag belt traveled a lot. That was one of the spotlights of 2023. This my championship belt showed up in so many so many different areas without me. And I was like, okay, cool. When I start hitting the streets, I want to be able to do so. But there's a bit of a situation with my world title that most people don't know this. This is the Championship Culture. What do you call your Championship Culture segment, Brandon, the guy?
Everybody has a story.
Every belt has a story. Right. So let me tell you a story about the Realness Championship belt. For those who have not seen me, I'm not AI generated.
No
Brandon's going to find some music. Brandon, I'll stall until you find whatever appropriate music you want to put on the background. Story time of the Realness. Because I'm going to break it down Brian H. style. No pun intended. No copyright.
No, you want to say that part.
So yeah,
shout out to Hypno Beats.
My guy, Hypno. I need some fire. I got to talk to him because we probably should do something. So I was awarded this beautiful championship title, right? And like I said, words can't describe what this thing is meant to me as as a kid coming up, and it's absolutely beautiful for people to want to see it. But there was a bit of a thing that happened where, look at that, my belt lost a piece. It broke off, and as you can see on the leather, I've been trying to figure it out, and it's such a gorgeous belt. It represents me in so many different ways, and I was like, dang, the brothers hitting the streets, and I haven't been able to because I don't want to mess it up even more because I'm afraid if another one of these pieces may fall off. So recently, I was going back and forth, and I was trying to figure out what can I do to try to fix it or try to get a repair, and something had happened. There's this elaborate ruse that Brother Brandon and myself tried to pull, and I got. And he was like, I said, well, what can we do? He said, I don't know. We can try to figure it out. And I don't know, man. I've been trying to figure it out. Maybe we can figure something out, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, no problem. It is what it is. But I said, I gotta hit the streets. He said, no, I know you probably feel bad because you haven't been able to do so. And I said, okay, I got it. Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. So as I began to try to put together in my head, how can I redo this? And always talking about belts and stuff with Brother Brandon. To my surprise, he said, hey, listen, I know we talked about this before, but it's officially here now. I was like, what are you talking about? So we're going to show an entire video when the episode drops of how this went down. But let me introduce the world to what I was gifted by the Belt King to make up for the, as he calls it, a belt flaw, a design flaw of the Realness Championship, Wrestling Wrealm Championship title. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the unveiling that I announced on X, Facebook, social media. This is officially version 2.0 of my championship belt. Here it is.
Ooh, that's cold.
Ladies and gentlemen, that right.
Just
no, this is introducing. This is there it is, the classic Wrestling Wrealm music. There it is. Perfect. Thank you, Brian H. DJ B Waters in the building. This is the brand new 2.0 championship belt. Of course, designed by the Belt King. It's very similar to my original title, which is very important to me, and the design aspects of it. It's slightly different. It has a lot of engravings. What's the proper term of it, Brother Brandon?
The pattern
Etching.
you talking about?
Yes, the pattern. Yeah,
well,
the pattern.
The floor pattern, and I usually just say the etching. I just call it the etching.
The etching. Okay, yeah. So where it was black previously, and they had the bars at the top. They were just simply taken away and just added different design. And he's heard me criticize him for his lack of WCW championships. And we always talk about the WCW television title of the mid '90s, and that was the inspiration behind a lot of the etchings behind it. So I want to say it was a very Merry Christmas for me. Thank you, Brother Brandon. We're doing what you do best and providing me with this opportunity. So now when I can hit the streets in 2024, I can join you brothers and be a part of the thing and get some nice photo ops. So
he gonna go out there and hit a dance move though.
Oh, you already know. So like I said, with that being said,
wait a minute, is that the belt right there? I was gonna say, is that it?
And she good.
You said and she clean.
Look at that. He just got this sample of club mix. This is by far my favorite Baltimore club mix.
I know.
So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is, look at this. I'm laughing at Brian. It's trying to get my thoughts out. This is my favorite. Thank you, Carlos. That was another one of the inspirations. The big gold. Like I said, we'll go into detail about this. You guys will see the crazy video. It was late at night. We was in the hood for something that I thought was supposed to be like for another moment in championship culture history. But I want to say thank you as I retire. The first version, man, this upgraded version, it's easier for me to move around and take what tell me. So I'm excited to hit the streets in 2024. And yeah, man, because I can't publicly thank you enough, brother, for all that you do for us. Once again, you see Carlos in the chat, he's saying all the right things. He said the big goal, the original TNA title. It even has a Shades of Impact's title right now as it's due to change.
You take any photos in it?
No, not yet. Not yet. That's also on the plan.
Yeah, you gotta throw those on the gram.
No doubt. No doubt. I'm trying to work all that stuff out now because I'm trying to get like new Wrestling Wrealm gear to wear it in. So all of my old stuff kind of leveled out. So, brother guy, you want to say a few words about this before we move on? Like I said, we'll go into detail about it. And that's one of the episodes of Championship Culture, because guess what? Every belt does have a story, and this one, trust me, when you guys see this story, we took video. I'm telling you, I got. I did. I was there for another reason, and this popped up, and I'm like, no. For the reason he told me, I will figure it out, and it was already on the way. So I'm thankful, I'm appreciative, man, and It means the world to me, brother. So like I said, publicly, I'm thanking you. I appreciate it, man. So there's a lot of upgrades going on. And like I said, it was a good Christmas. So setting this right here. There we go. So they can kind of hang together. But yeah, championship culture.
You got more belts than MJF.
Wow, shots already. Okay, we're going there. It's gonna be one of them shows. I can feel it.
I mean, he lost one tonight.
He definitely did. Wait, did he?
Yeah, they lost the tag titles.
Oh shoot!
I'm mad because they went over, and my DVR is set to go 5 minutes over, but they went too far over. They never go over. I'm like, this is the one time I miss it.
Crazy part is I wrote that down in my notes. Like I'll hurry up and put it in there. But yeah, championship. What did he say? Oh, okay.
Well, my screen is stuck. I can't.
If the real Dwayne Allen took a photo like that, I would swim to Australia.
Oh wow, that's funny.
That ain't happening, Jack.
Yeah. Listen, Logan Paul's you ain't getting those type of photos, buddy. Like brother Hugh did with his belt when he took his Shawn Michaels Photoshop photo. But yeah, Championship Culture Season 2, youtube.com/Wrestling Wrealm. Championship Culture. Catch up on Season 1. Season 2 definitely starts January 23rd, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Season 2 coming to. See, I told you, we're starting off this show with a bang, man. There's a lot going on, and we got a lot to get into, but I wanted to take that time to do that. So I thought it'd be the perfect segue into advertising for Championship Culture.
I just want to make sure that people heard him and said Dwayne got.
I did. I don't get got by nobody. Like let me make that very clear. I never get got. Like I never get got. But like I said, those who are close to me, they always get me. Like I'll give you a prime example. I'm making once again, this is the year of upgrades. Like we're trying to move things forward and stuff like that. And for Christmas, like I said, I got this beautiful thing right here. Look at this. I'll be upgrading my whole podcast setup. Look at that. You was thinking on YouTube unboxing it. Yeah, look at that. You got this, Brian H?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you have to teach me how to work this.
You got the upgraded one.
Yeah, this is the
more
E2.
3 buttons on the side.
Yeah, this is the E2. So I was looking at it. I was trying to get it ready for today, and I was like, oh shoot, I didn't want to mess up the show in the process of experimenting. So I'm excited to use this. My lady gave it to me. I love her. I appreciate her. I thank her for this too. This is amazing. But yeah, we upgrading. We got new belts. We got new. And look at this new podcast stuff. So trying to get new gear. We got a lot to do.
Dylan is on fire tonight.
Right.
Look at him. Bruh, listen, you got to pay attention to the guy because he has a wait a minute. Time out. What's that belt under there's a new belt underneath the United States.
Trying to look, but I could
that's new. Brian, did you see it?
Which one are you talking about?
What is that? No, it's right there underneath the United States. He's trying to keep a straight face. I'm not doing it. You do this every show. It's right there. You see it?
The pure, not the pure.
No, it's right there. I need United States. He keeps trying to move it. Brian, do you see it? This is
that one. I mean, shoot, I can't even.
Oh, that's the pure.
That's what I thought. I was like, that's the one from last week, right?
I caught it. Yeah,
because that stuck out. And he threw the IWGP Intercontinental. That was there. We're gonna have a game called Investor Belt.
Bro, book it. Invest the belt. We got to figure. It's like a trivia game every week with the belt game. He's always switching belts out, always trying to catch us slipping. But yeah, everybody keep your eyes open. If you're watching this, if you're listening, keep your eyes open because Brother Brand is always switching stuff back there. But like I said, we got to move on because we have a lot to do today. But brothers, we have kicked off the show with a bang. We've unveiled stuff. We've given information. Let's just get right into it for our famous segment. Every week we sit there, we have a segment called What Did You Watch? Where the brothers just sit back and we prepare ourselves to talk about what did we watch to get our mindsets in the place that it needs to be in order for us to have a successful show each and every week. And it's that time. Here we go. Brothers, we're coming to a close. 2023. What did you watch today to prepare for today's show?
Well, I'll go with what's on the screen now. Well, actually, you know what? It's Starcade season. So earlier I watched Dusty do something his son couldn't do, and that was finish his story. 85 Starcade. He beat Flair for the belt. And but right now, I mentioned at the top of the hour, the 25th anniversary. So I have my favorite Starcade, which is 98. And at this moment, Eddie Guerrero just re-challenged Kidman because Juventud Guerrero and a reluctant Rey Mysterio, who was a part of the LWO, couldn't get it done by taking the title off of Kidman. Unfortunately, this would be the most relevant that Kidman and Rey Mysterio, excuse me, I didn't mean that. Kidman and Juventud Guerrero would be.
Oh boy, it's a lot of WCW flavor in there. You said all the nostalgic names but you threw me off because that number you threw out before we started the show when you said 25 years since. But,
yeah.
Nah, man, it's throwing me off. But nah, that's the part I like about what you go back to watch a lot of times, Brian. It's like you give us these history lessons. So it's like you have this attitude towards like deep cuts that brings it to the forefront. You go, oh yeah, you remember that. So I could always appreciate that. But Brother Hugh, Brother Brandon, talk to your boys. What did you guys watch this week?
I watched the sunrise while I was sitting on the balcony with a cup of you know, listening to myself say every belt has a story.
Is that true? Does every belt have a story?
Every belt has a story.
Every belt has a story.
Brian, tell the story how you got that winged eagle in the back.
Oh, WrestleMania.
WrestleMania story. Gotta love it.
Me and Brother Hugh.
Remember that tag team belt behind you was supposed to be on NXT Level Up, but you came and claimed it before I could leave it with Triple H.
No, because my thing was going on tour.
That's the one I took yesterday.
What's that?
Tag team belt.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
How was the I forgot. I'm sorry. Go ahead, finish your thought. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, shout out to my godbrother's nephew. He was there at the show. So, it's always a joy when kids see a belt. And I was like, yeah, come on, you want to take a picture with it? And he was like, wow. So that was pretty cool. Cool moment for them, The show was good though. I enjoyed it. I mean, my kids, I told them I don't watch Bloodline matches with them no more because the L's
they burn you up real bad, man.
Yeah, it's
just remorseless.
Then my daughter got mad because I cheered Bailey. I was like, I'm not booing Bianca. I just like Bailey also. So when Bailey ends, I gotta cheer. Yeah, so
crazy. She's what? She should be what, 9 or 10 now?
She'll be 9 next month.
Okay, so she'll be 9 next month. Right, but she already knows the rules. We always cheer for the color folks.
Yeah, because
don't go against the brothers and the sisters.
Hey, that's what happened with the Street Profits. Street Profits and Bobby. Which I'm pretty y'all knows they will not boo them. Like the fans will not.
No, it's not working. They can't be heels.
I'm excited. They changed the music too.
But you can't boo somebody with sparkly pants on.
Well,
it was a lot of glitter going on.
It was a lot.
Glitter.
It was so much glitter. It was so much.
Massive.
It was so much.
Y'all got me sitting there thinking, like, did we ever boo anybody with sparkly? I don't
know, but there was a lot. It was a lot. Bobby Lashley had a vest match.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came back out with a vest. And he put a hat on so he wouldn't see any eyebrows.
Wow. Anyways.
Yo, that's how he walked, though. I seen him in Nashville, and I walked past, I'm like, wait, oh, that's Bobby.
Is that you, Bobby?
Bobby!
The holiday show was good. I got an impromptu video. I see my guys, the OC. I just have a quick question. Did they win or did they lose?
They won.
Good question.
They won? Oh, thank God. That usually means when they go to TV, a push is coming. Karrying Cross
yes,
one.
Boy.
Yeah. Those guys are hilarious. Yes, boy.
Yeah, I like them, man.
Can you imagine them in Dalton Castle?
Oh my God!
Oh boy! You talk about they'll take the androgyny through the roof. The world loves that kind of stuff now, and the androgyny will be through the roof. Prince will be so proud.
Will have brand deals if they was all together. He would have brand deals.
So Dalton Castle, what's their name? I just forgot the name just that quick. The Pretty Boys.
Pretty Deadly.
Pretty Deadly.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Dalton Castle, Pretty Deadly versus
Billy and Chuck?
No, versus close to it. What's
Max
the acclaim? Oh boy, that would be so weird. With Goldust as a special guest referee. Anyway, sorry, I'm fantasy booking.
That was just good wrestling because Goldust gonna make sure they at least tell a story.
That's true. See, he's got his Dustin Rhodes factory. But what else did you guys watch? Was it just the holiday show that kind of kept you guys afloat, Brother Brandon?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, that's
because Saturday nights
are
are dead for me. No,
Sure.
Saturday nights are dead. I won't even cut it on. And as you can see in the comments, Dennis was waving the flag for a while, and
Dennis
now that he's given up, I feel bad for him.
Sorry,
I hope when he gets his big gold, Dennis gave up tonight. Yeah, he's done. He tapped out, and I didn't think he would tap out on NWA or AEW because he was like the flag bearer for both of them, and it's like he's over now. So when he doesn't have a good report about it, I don't go back and watch it. So I said, oh, it must have been extremely bad if he's giving up.
I respect Dennis though, because Dennis don't be on that tribalism ish.
Good.
No, he was waving the flag. It's going to get better. If he just did this, it's going to get better. Oh, I can see it when he tried. I was like, I think they finally hit him with the enough is enough. So
wow,
that's all I'm gonna say. I'd rather see Vacant with a title than Mass Wrestlers. But
now we're going too far. Vacant, that hurt. Like I'm hurt to say that Vacant.
I'd rather see Vacant. Vacant is the greatest champion ever because Vacant of all time. He'd have had every belt. Vacant is the man or woman, but I'd rather that than a Mass Wrestler because it draws the storyline out. The Mass Wrestler, you know what I mean? Like a Mass, like it was funny when Edge and Christian did it when they were Los Conquistadores. Yeah, that was funny. That was part of it was like okay, cool.
Sure. Yeah, and it furthered a story too. Like it was a chapter. Yeah,
but you wouldn't see the Aces and Eights being Mass coming out winning titles. You wouldn't see Retribution winning titles. You wouldn't see the Shield with Mass. I just at some point something's got to just scare.
I don't think the story. I don't think the story's over because so everybody that's listening is watching. What we're referring to is, fellas, correct me if I'm wrong. We're talking about the finish of this week's, as of this recordings, AEW Dynamite. Is it Dynamite or Rampage? Dynamite with Samoa Joe was supposed to Samoa Joe and MJF. Kind of representing the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, and MJF, of course, the AEW World Champion. Face off against this mysterious devil, a character that MJF introduced, but it's clearly not him. Against two of these devil's henchmen, and Samoa Joe faked an injury backstage, which seemed like it was fake. When I saw him rolling back and screaming, and I was like, okay, something's up. I didn't think it was bad acting. I was like, oh no, Joe is like doing this on purpose to show like he's telling a story, which Joe's really, really good at. And I was like, wait a minute, something's up. I said, come on, man, it's nobody. First of all, Samoa Joe ain't never been no chump. And I've seen Samoa Joe 5-6 guys try to attack me. He took out at least 3 of them. And he's on the ground, and I was like, something's off. And then match goes on. MJF decides to go forward. Match is over with. Samoa Joe decides to go on the Titans run. Said, pleasure doing business with you. As soon as I said that, and Samoa Joe's behind the chair, I just shield all over. I said, oh no. He clocks MJF. They lose the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. Now the Devil's Henchmen, I suppose, have the titles.
The Devil Masked Men are billed as tag team champion. The Devil's Mask. If it wound up being Matt Taven and Roderick Strong is the devil, I feel like
that's a bit of a letdown. But we saw them earlier though. But there's a lot about AEW that we're going to get into. Some positives, some negatives. But let's talk about it, gentlemen. Let's get into it. This is what everybody's here watching. They want to know what we think about 2023. Overall in the year of pro wrestling and all that it blessed us with, like I said, all this pro wrestling awesomeness that we got this year. Who wants to go first to just talk about 2023 as a whole when it comes to professional wrestling? The bell has rung. It is time to boogie.
Oh,
let me talk to you.
Well, let me talk to you. Hit it, Brian H.
That's a nice graphic. I wonder who did that.
Had to be Brother Hugh.
I don't know.
Graphics extraordinaire.
I wish I had nice graphics like that for championship culture. I'm sorry, what was you talking about?
These championship culture guys, bro, they go at it all day. That's what they do.
All day. I'm just tired.
Don't let the glasses fool you.
At this point.
I see you.
Take that, John Cena. He can see you. But Brian H, you were talking about 2023.
So 2023 was a phenomenal year in pro wrestling. When you look back from
he said AJ Styles.
From the WWE side, right? When you look at Royal Rumble all the way until Survivor Series,
got it.
Every one of them every single premium live event felt like it was must see. We kicked off the year with Mercedes Moné joining New Japan Pro Wrestling, making an appearance, and
big deal.
You know, it was a huge deal. It let us know, okay, we about to see something new right here. She would eventually win the championship. AEW had us talking. Wrong reasons or right reasons, they had us talking. You know, All Out, Brawl Out 2, and the follow-up from all that. They added a new show, and then there was still controversy. TNA is coming back. That was a big deal. We saw Trinity go over there, somebody who had walked out with Mercedes and become the biggest star, arguably, over there, and she's doing her thing. And then, of course, we had people like Will Ospreay, Speedball Mike Bailey, and so many tons of others putting on good matches. So this year in pro wrestling, you got everything. If you're a wrestling fan, if you're in it for the graps, or if you're in it for the sports entertainment, if you're in it for the men, you're in it for the women, you were satisfied. Not to mention, we saw a different side of NXT. NXT finally was able to get its ground going. You know, you look at a year ago, it was all about, you know, we was trying to get out of that color phase into the black and gold, but we don't really call it black and gold, so we're black and gold 2.0. So now they really was able to get going. So I have to say, personally, for me, this is probably one of my favorite years in wrestling as an adult because of everything. And it just felt must see. And it was a thing where it made us excited to talk about it because even on we probably had really just a couple of weeks where we said we'll just choose a subject because it's not really nothing happening, you know, but it kept us hooked to wrestling Twitter or wrestling websites or wrestling forums because it has always been so much going on. And then from the mainstream side, we haven't seen too many people, you know, they guys like, oh, you know, man, I didn't know wrestling was going on like that. I mean, you see it mentioned on former NBA players and current NBA players podcasts. And at the end of the day, the tribal chief still reigns supreme.
Oh man, there's a trust me. There's so much to unpack there, but I must say, well said, my brother. That is, you summed it up pretty well. And I think one of the key things that you said that I love the most, and that I want everybody that's listening to pay attention to what Brian has really said. It's been one of the years that we have been able to enjoy it and be excited about it as adults. Like we've been around the sun way too many times in this world of professional wrestling. It's not a lot that we haven't seen before, or something that is you know, groundbreaking enough to keep us excited. We experienced a lot between the drama of the Bloodline, Bray Wyatt, and just what he had to offer, the rise of a modern day superstar like LA Knight, which is hard to do. So much. Mercedes becoming, you know, a cornerstone for in the history of women's wrestling and IW with New Japan's IWGP Women's world title. So much to say, man. You said a lot, man. Well said. But brother Hugh, brother Brandon, 2023 as a whole, was this a good year in professional wrestling?
It was a great year.
Don't be shy.
It might,
oh wow, okay.
Possibly,
we got a great year.
No, I was like,
it might be the best year ever, honestly.
Now tell the people now. And here's why I want you to explain. I want you to break this down, because when you say something like best year ever, once again, I just literally said we've seen a lot. We talk about a lot. Yeah. We've texted. We've gone to shows. We've seen a lot of stuff, and the fact that you're saying that now speaks volumes to kind of where we are right now as far as pro wrestling as a whole. So let's let the people inside the mind of Brother Hugh why you said that you think this might be the best year ever.
Well, I'm gonna start with just the expansion of like wrestling as a whole. The exposure of it is increased tremendously, just with different stars going to different promotions and showing their talent. And now we have a whole list of free agents that just dropped. They got released from that 90-day clause.
Yep.
So we have more talent that's out there ready to make an impact on in the wrestling world now. You also have the likes of Triple H being the best booker in the business.
Facts.
The developmental stages of NXT and just stars all across the wrestling industry as a whole. Even to AEW, they have a lot of elite stars. Well, I don't want to say elite. I'm gonna say good stars, great talent down there right now that could potentially grow up and be superstars, megastars. I'm not sure if it's going to be in that company or it's going elsewhere. But
well said.
when I look back at 2023, those are the first two things that jump into my mind. It's exposure and just development overall.
Bro, excellent. I'm telling, like, the show is boiling. It's almost that it's boiling for, like, we like reeling people in, because it's one of those, like, everything you said was once again absolutely perfect, because it's the truth. And it's like, okay, here we go. Because now what we're about to do is, after we hear from the Belt King himself, the guy, is we're going to unpack some of those things that made us feel why we felt about this year. And if you felt the same, please put it in the comments so we can, like I said, we like to make you guys also a part of the show. Put in the comments why you thought 2023 was one of the best years for professional wrestling in general. Brother Guy, talk to your people.
So 2023 gave us one of the biggest things we haven't seen, I think, ever in pro wrestling, to the point that WWE has established a roster of superstars. And when I say a roster, it's not just the one or two main eventers that you got to call in a part-timer. You got to call Triple H has shown I can stand on my own. I can still give you the nostalgia you want when it's needed for that, get us over that curve. But I'm gonna get us over this hump with who I got reporting to work every week. Who's it? Okay. Hey, Krista. What was she? And what you call it? So with that, how do we have a PLE that all of your singles champions aren't on, but it feels important? How do we have, you get what I'm saying? Like, it feels like you established so much. And I was talking to Hill about this. I can't even remember a pay-per-view where Seth and Cody weren't on it. True. Like, they've been on every single one, and on for different reasons. Seth without the world title, and now Seth with the champion. It felt like they were staples for it, and that shows that he's really established. Go back 2 years, it would have to be Brock Lesnar in one of them. It would have to be bring Undertaker, John Cena, bring Batista, get somebody, get this person. So that one thing, but then two, we also saw some of the first things that we seem to forget happened this year. Like, I won't forget that this year gave us a tag team main event for night one of WrestleMania. When have we ever had? Yeah, when have we ever had a tag team title match main event? That
was
felt
a big
like
deal.
It was a big match feel, and it's crazy. It was two indie darlings that weren't WWE bred. Like, these are ROH guys that are main eventing a WWE show, and we can call everybody a different person: ROH, TNA, WWE guy, whatever it may be. But we know El Generico and Kevin Steen main evented WrestleMania.
And even though you can say the last time that happened, it was a celebrity involved. WrestleMania 1 with Mr. T. The last time
that's why I said tag team title match.
No, I know, I'm saying, but the fact that the tag team in general, because tag teams don't main event WrestleMania.
Yeah. Nope.
Facts.
And to put them in there with the titles, and granted, I'm gonna get to the titles in a second, but I think Triple H figured out his sports and entertainment mix, that you can have R-Truth on a show and he don't feel like he's overutilized or just there. He actually has like a purpose in the storyline now. Like, I think it's another layer to the Judgment Day that I still think is funny, but that's later on in the year. I'm not going to forget Tony Khan. He did give us some dream matches, because when will we ever see Daniel Bryan and Okada?
True.
So I got to give him credit for that. It was a lot of dream matches that he gave us, but it just, are we going to remember them in 2023? It's not going to be at the forefront of our memory, because we've had some other great moments in 2023. And we've seen the rise of factions that are good, bad, or indifferent, but they're part of the conversation. So you got all these factions that you're thinking about, and like, did Rhea Ripley need the Judgment Day? No, the Judgment Day needed Rhea Ripley, and look what she's done. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, 5 years from now, we still gonna be talking about what Rhea Ripley did in this year. 10 years from now, we still gonna be like, yo, that run she had when she won that title from Charlotte at Mania, man. And that wasn't even the main event. That was just the match before the main event. We still gonna be talking about that. And the last thing I'm gonna say is, well, before I get to the belts, we have other wrestling entities that are part of the conversation. We
That's
have
very true.
GCW, MLW, and AAA as just as fluid as we would say WWE, AEW, and TNA. And I said TNA distinctly because these other companies, GCW, it's a big deal when you got a Mustafa Ali going back to GCW to do
You see him, he's jacked. Did you see him?
Yeah,
He's jacked.
Yeah.
You got people going back to MLW, and it's not a thing where it's a downgrade. It's like a homecoming in a sense where it's like, I have options. Yeah, these are my options. I'm going here. I don't have to go to AEW or TNA. I can go other places, do a couple shows, be the marquee, do whatever, and whatever I need to do. And I think, if we rewind back when these wrestlers left, like Cody was the one that publicized, here's my list. I'm going to hit these indies and prove myself. And then he went back onto a bigger stage of AEW. But I think if he hadn't done that, he wouldn't be in the position that he is now. And I'm not saying everybody got to go out and find that. So look what Drew McIntyre did. He did the same thing. He left, he went back, and he came back even better.
That's very true.
So it's with WWE getting better, it kind of forced everybody else to get better. I hope in 2024, Tony realizes his competition is not WWE. His competition will be TNA.
Oh,
because
I think so
if
as well.
he doesn't pay attention, TNA has been a silent assassin, and they got a storyline. They put on just as good pay-per-views. Now, are they getting the buy rates? Maybe not, but now they're going to have a bigger scale and a bigger audience because they was killing it in Canada with all those shows. I don't know if anybody paid attention. Every time they went to Canada, they were selling stuff. They were selling these shows, and they were still bringing in those people that people want to see, which is insane to me. And I just hope that in 2024, Tony, stop it with the belts. You got too many participation trophies.
Ouch.
Shout out to my boy Tom Hannafin, aka formerly known as Tom Phillips, over there killing on commentary.
Oh yeah, you know the crazy part? You're absolutely right. He has been killing it. When I heard his name, I was like, wait a minute. Oh, that's Tom Phillips. I forgot.
And I hope Tony Khan gets. I hope we get something with these tag belts because, like when me and he was talking about it at the show yesterday, we don't have our main star on SmackDown or our secondary champion there.
Nope.
And we don't have a tag team champion. We only have, honestly, the women's champion. That's really the only champion we have on SmackDown right now.
That's it.
So think about it. That's literally, and she's not positioned to the point that she could be carrying it. She doesn't have the star power that Bianca Belair has, or Becky Lynch, but she's just there. And if both of your champions are missing, you don't have the women's tag team champions, and you don't have your men's tag team champions. All you got is a women's champion. So I don't want to say it, but I feel like something's got to change. And I'm gonna go on record and say it again. I don't care if Roman holds the belt until 2077 for all I care.
And wait a goddamn
let
minute.
Let us see him. The Bloodline story, everybody talk about how much he defended. I don't care if he never defends it. I want to see him. The Bloodline is dead. You keep saying, oh, the Bloodline, the Bloodline, the Bloodline. Well, last night when they came out, I was like, it's them two. It's
you just had to kill
Silla.
A good monologue.
No, I'm being honest. No, I'm saying
everything was fine.
Brian said you got always to the end.
No, and here's why.
Chief.
So let's address this.
You got him for 2 straight weeks. 2 straight weeks.
All right, so let's address this. Dwayne, I'm gonna hijack the show for a second.
Yeah,
let me say my opinion because it's not facts. It's my opinion. If he is our champion, we want to see him. That segment with him and Nick Aldis, I said, oh, this is the type of stuff we're missing. There is nobody to fill that void because there is no other person in that caliber. If we saw the U.S. champion there arguing with Nick Aldis, cool, fine. Roman, take your time away. I know we need to keep him in a bubble because of his past health things. I'm thinking about it from a personal standpoint. Yes, keep this man in a bubble till WrestleMania until we have to break the glass again. I don't even want him to fit in that Royal Rumble because I feel like that's going to be too many people. COVID cases are too much. We need to protect this man. But in the same token, you have such a chokehold on 2 belts that we had to merge it to one, so we wouldn't keep having that conversation about 2 belts. Merge it into one. But you keep saying the Bloodline. All right, if Rhea Ripley wasn't on Raw every week and she made an appearance once every 4 months. Everybody be saying, "Oh, the Judgment Day is horrible." She makes the story better.
There you go.
She makes it more interesting.
True.
Dominic dropped his North American title, and he didn't miss a beat. And it's still it made sense.
Mhm.
Now, would I like to see him get a U.S. title, Intercontinental title, or something? Maybe, maybe not. Does he need a title? Maybe, maybe not.
Mhm.
Does Roman not being there, does it help or hurt SmackDown? It hurts because we keep talking about the bloodline, but Solo and Jimmy can't do it. Roman Reigns needs to be that one segment with him and Nick Aldis was perfect.
Mhm.
Those type of things, if they just film vignettes for the next 16 weeks and just have him in vignettes backstage, have him change his shirt, put his hair in a different ponytail, change some shoes, something.
TNA style.
Yeah,
four weeks in one.
It would help the storyline. But him not being there, like, bro, you got to stop seeing it through a bloodline glasses and realize it's dead. It's done. Yes, when he comes back and it picks up, that's the equivalent of it being dead. If you need somebody to jolt it, to give it back life, it's dead already. If you need Roman to come back once every 6 weeks to revive, because last week was awesome. But now, watch, he's not going to be here till Royal Rumble again, because we're going to have a fatal, triple threat, right? To see who's going to face him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to have another week of excitement. Yeah. And then unless we see him again, it's going to be like, all right, so they're fighting for their champion. But if we were booking a U.S. champion, give it to Solo or Jimmy, and that could have been the story of the bloodline.
Brother Brandon just can't take his booking hat off.
No, he can't.
No, I'm just saying, because Jimmy or Solo with the U.S. title, it would have still felt like, okay, here's something I want to be interested in, because at the house show, Jimmy was channeling his Roman Reigns. And I would just say, he did his little, I said, oh, isn't that cute? Of course, on the house show, he's going to do that. Oh, he speared him. Okay. Imagine him doing it on TV as a U.S. champion. Oh, I'm the tribal chief because he ain't here. Oh, no, I was just keeping it warm for you when you come back. It would have been another layer of something. But now, he going to go out, lose to somebody. Solo going to come out, menacing looking, lose to somebody, and we keep going. Sorry, I've lost.
I think SmackDown ain't lost nothing.
Listen, I'm about to say, I think it's strategic, to be honest with you. I think they want you to feel that way. It's because, and here's why I think that is, because that's what they're selling us. First of all, I never trust what they sell us, because that's why I never trust Chris Jericho. I never trust Kevin Nash. You never trust guys who protect the business, because it's like we talked about it before when they try to sell us Bray Wyatt versus Bobby Lashley for WrestleMania. Something, and Karrion Kross kind of made it clear, like, no, I was supposed to work with Bray. Karrion Kross is nowhere near that storyline going into WrestleMania. But he wasn't even in the conversation. But they sold us that on purpose. So I think you have some valid points there, Brandon. But I also think that it's meant to be that way for a reason. And we will definitely get in. The bloodline is one of the conversations we have to talk. We're going to talk about we don't have enough time to talk about everything in 2023. But we're gonna do what we call a 2023 wrap up. We're gonna talk about some of the latest things that have happened as we close out 2023, while still mentioning things that kind of held its ground, and kind of we kind of started the conversation early, with the bloodline. Also, I added this to the rundown, but I didn't get a chance. But the rise of the Judgment Day, like I think it was all strategic, where the bloodline became a one focus point, but it dwindled on purpose to give way for the Judgment Day. So we're going to get into that, but we'd be remiss. First of all, shout out to everybody in the comments who being part of the show. You guys are excellent, man. You guys are great conversations, and we're trying to put as many comments up on it as possible. So definitely go back and watch to see what you had to say and how we responded to it. But we will be remiss if we didn't take this opportunity to, as we appreciate 2023, to remember those who we lost, whom we've lost in 2023. It's been a rough year for the community and the families of those who all involved. So the Wrestling Wrealm, has chosen to remember just a handful of the many wrestlers that we lost this year in 2023. We wish their family, many prayers, many thoughts, many concerns, as we ask everybody to kind of take a moment of silence as we do one last 10-bell salute for some of our favorites who we lost in 2023. Thank you. Graphic button once again. wrestlers we lost in 2023. Thank you. Thank you all for allowing us that space to take a moment of silence and give that one last 10 bell salute to some of our favorites that we unfortunately had that we lost in 2023. But we're gonna jump into it, man. We're gonna jump to some news, some things that have kind of happened in 2023, and we have a list of stuff we're going to talk about. But trust me, there's a ton of things we're going to jump in. The brothers have a lot to say, and I'm curious to see what the other fans and those who are participating in the chat have to say about some things. But let's go to the landing of the rising sun. Something monumental kind of happened. I didn't see it coming. It took me aback. But let's start here. At the end of 2023, we have this. The New Japan, Hiroshi Tanashi is officially the new president, I believe, director of something for New Japan Pro Wrestling. First of all, shout out. This is like if John Cena were to become the president of WWE. That means. Words.
That's it right there.
Words cannot describe how big of a deal this is. And I know even the president of Japan made it very clear that we're going to get the best version of New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think New Japan took a hit when AEW came to the mix. Even though they have a working relationship, just a chance to work stateside is probably going to always beat out the way New Japan produces their shows, especially for American talent. But a guy like Hiroshi Tanahashi, man, he is he's the John Cena of New Japan Pro Wrestling. When he came up, I guess in 2008-ish, they were doing a similar thing. WWE and New Japan Pro Wrestling were doing a similar thing. They were like, we got to rebuild, and they chose 3 guys to build around. Same way WWE decided to hitch their wagon to John Cena, Batista, and Randy Orton. You know, once The Rock retired, and they had to say we got to find who's the next guys we're going to try to go after. New Japan did the same thing with Hiroshi Tanahashi, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Katsuyori Shibata. They were upset with Shibata's because Shibata, right in the mix of it all, he left and he pursued mixed martial arts, and they came back and he kind of had to work his way back up to being a top talent. But he has recently just signed with All Elite Wrestling as well. We're talking 2023. So many big dogs have showed up in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Obviously, what it's known for most American fans is the Bullet Club. They gave us a modern version of what we consider the NWO in our wrestling community that expanded far beyond the globe and far beyond New Japan Pro Wrestling. And Tanahashi has been the centerfold of a lot of what they've done. His matchups with Okada are, 5-star. He's had a match. Him and Shinsuke both have had matches with Brock Lesnar over there. His matches with AJ Styles, unbelievable. I've never seen him get in the ring and have a bad match with anybody. So shout out to Hiroshi Tanahashi, man. I think this is a big deal. I don't know what his involvement will be. I don't know if this is the end of his career, which I doubt. He's still one of their top names, but man, what you guys got any comments on Hiroshi Tanahashi becoming the president of New Japan Pro Wrestling?
I want to see him and Triple H do some business. I know they're doing some business with All Japan. Okay. But I would love to see him and Triple H do some business together.
Like what? What are you thinking?
Just whether it's a talent exchange, or you
I'll be down with that.
Or appearances. Obviously, I don't think we have a collision, no pun intended, just because it gets complicated with who goes over and all that stuff. But I would love to see them, just do some work together.
That's pretty dope. I don't know. I don't know what the announcement. First of all, this is no disrespect. I didn't know that All Japan was still like rocking and rolling.
I ain't either.
They've been quiet.
For me, it was always the New Japan Pro Wrestling, Pro Wrestling Noah, and at one point Wrestle One was trying to become like the third brand over there. Because you remember AJ, they had a working relationship with TNA around the time AJ Styles' contract was up, and I remember in the midst of that, when AJ was kind of like leaving TNA, he was out the door. He made it clear he wasn't resigning. That was one of the first places that he took the TNA World Championship on his global tour. He wrestled, ironically, the current IWGP World Champion, Seiya Sanada, who looked very different back then compared to what it looks like now. But they had a
He
wrestling
looked
match.
like a young lion back then.
He did, because Seiya Sanada
They
used
all
to.
looked.
He did his excursions in TNA. First of all, Tanahashi and both Shinsuke and Nakamura did their excursions in TNA. No, both of them did, and Okada also did. TNA wrestling. They did their because they used to have a show called TNA Explosion. It was an online show, and the international talent would come and do kind of dark matches, I guess. But that was the working relationship with New Japan and TNA at the time, and they would do the excursions over there. And they had a work relationship with Wrestle One, and that's when we saw Seiya Sanada for the first time. And before he would end up in New Japan Pro Wrestling, that's where AJ Styles had one of his first global matches before he was kind of out there anyway. So I'm curious. I didn't think all Japan was still in motion, but apparently it is.
Yeah, I thought they was. Every time I think about it, I think of All Japan like way back in the day.
Yeah, of course.
DWI Illustrated.
Like I think about them back to the mid '90s or maybe early 2000s, maybe. You know what I mean? But like I said, wrestling took a hit around the world everywhere. And when they rebuilt, like I said, Shinsuke, everybody does an excursion. Everyone starts out as a young lion in New Japan, then they do excursion, and then they come back with a gimmick or character. Like Shinsuke came back the way he is now when he did his excursion in, I believe, Mexico. And it's so on and so forth. But the ace of New Japan, wow, at kind of at the head of the table. And I'm curious to see what they do. Like I said, I think New Japan is taking the hit as far as talent is concerned. But if they have faith that he will provide the best version of New Japan, man, I'm excited to see what he does. He's one of my favorite wrestlers, all-time favorite wrestlers. He's one of the guys that kind of steered me in the right direction when it came to wrestling outside of WWE, which I really, really enjoyed. So his action figure stunk. I blame Super 7. They came out with this New Japan wrestling, and they chose the wrong hair for him, but I'm not going to get into that. It's not about me today. So anybody got anything else to say about Hiroshi Tanahashi? I say it like that on purpose. They do this video package. They be like, Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Yeah.
What's the click? I'm like, oh, they ready to go in. But anybody got anything to say about Tanahashi and his new role with New Japan Pro Wrestling as president and director of? I forgot his actual title. I know he's director of something, but
he's I just had it up. President and director, representative director.
There we go. Okay, perfect.
What do you guys think? Good in a suit.
Yeah, he's the guy. He's been the guy. No pun intended. No copyright infringement.
None at all.
So yeah, like I said, this is one of the big. It was huge news, blockbuster news. But we're kind of going to move on. We can jump all over the place because we had a different conversation. Let's talk about the emergence of LA Knight. That was probably one of the biggest things that we saw in 2023. We saw a guy that was kind of lost in the sauce. Most recently has been given most recently been given the key to the city of Hagerstown, Maryland. And Brian said last night he called Maryland home. He's in Baltimore. He said, "Yo, this is home." He cut his teeth. He cut his teeth in this area. Most people don't know that. As he traveled the world as Eli Drake, and we saw him early on as Max Dupree. That's Vince McMahon. We can say his name now. Didn't see him as a certain type of talent because of his age, but he tried to make it work. Things gotta happen. Triple H took over, and LA Knight got another shot, and the fans just wanted him. And here we are now. So, brothers, we're here to talk about the emergence of LA Knight. Where did he come from? How did this happen? Eli Drake's been around for a minute. He's been trying to do some version of what we're seeing now before, as we saw with most talent that get to WWE. But how did we get here with LA Knight?
I don't know if we ever figured out that moment. I think so. I say this a lot with WWE. Once you are a superstar, a t-shirt is nice. A match can be hit or miss. But once you get the crowd participation, you're made. And at some point, the crowd started chanting that, yeah, and then started the LA Knight thing with the point. That's when it was just like, whoa, where did this come from? So I don't know if we ever pinpointed the moment, but when he got the crowd behind him, when he dropped that whole Max Dupree thing, because participation is big. Like the crowd looks forward to being able to say, yeah, or they look forward to being able to do something like Seth Rollins' song, singing Cody Rhodes' entrance. We look forward to doing that. And then he figured it out. Is he a 5-star match? Absolutely not. Is he going to be entertaining? Absolutely. So I'm just curious to see where does he fit in 2024.
Brother, he when did LA Knight turn the corner? Like at what point did the fans decide, no, we want it to be him? Was it because, sometimes, wrestling fans, we can be kind of anti-establishment. And I don't know if LA Knight would probably be a big star now if he wasn't being forced to be something that he wasn't so much. And that's no disrespect to him by any means. But at what point for you did you realize, this guy can be a top guy? Like, because the fans wanted, what Brother Brandon was saying, the fans wanted him. But at what point did everybody decide, we want LA Knight?
The point I really noticed it, I would have to say, is when what event was that? It was in DC. Was it Raw that we went to, Brandon?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Raw in DC when he came out, and of course he cut a promo, but the crowd just absolutely just popped for him. And that's when I really noticed, like, oh, dang, LA Knight is really, really over. I always thought he was great with the mic. Great at cutting. He always has the crowd in the palm of his hands, literally. And we get the comparisons of like him during the Attitude Era, The Rock and Stone Cold. That's exactly what you feel when you hear him speak.
Okay.
Like you feel that charisma, you feel that electricity. You want him to. Most of the time, I'm not even gonna lie, I don't even want to see him wrestle half of the time. I just want him to come out and talk.
Yeah.
Just to be honest, I'm not saying that he's a bad wrestler or a bad, entertainer or whatnot.
But you know what we've come to see. Like,
that's what we're here for. We're here for the catchphrases. Just like The Rock. We were here for all the catchphrases and all the comedy. So it's like, that's what I want. That's what they're getting, and people love it. So push them to the moon.
Brian, what's your opinion on LA Knight? Were you an Eli Drake fan? NWA and Impact Wrestling, he was still being Eli Drake?
No, not really.
Okay. What changed it for you?
SummerSlam.
All right, good.
The Battle Royal. Because at first I was like, okay, whatever. But you could feel at Ford Field, you could feel the intensity. And the crowd was just like going crazy. I was like, all right, okay, I see it. And I see Keith just said in the chat, he still didn't think he needed to be fed to Roman. I agree. I kind of felt like
that's how you get jumped into WWE. Everybody's fed to Roman.
Yeah. But I think I was just hoping to see him kind of like stay on the high part of the mid card to the point where it's like, all right, we really, really want this. Because it was like, it still wasn't believable, even though, Roman going to do like Flair and he going to have a good match. You're going to come close. But I would have liked to see this get to the point where it's like, wait a minute, if he keeps winning, maybe he's the guy to take him down. So that's how I felt about that. But
you know what? I'm gonna say something on that. When he was in that United States title, and he lost. I was like, but we still gonna give him Roman. It kind of felt like I wanted him to win more, so like to get to that point.
Yeah,
like we needed more of that.
Exactly. So,
and did you see what Stephanie said? That actually, I don't know if we thought about that. Social media.
Sure.
That's probably when he had a presence on there.
True.
Yeah, because honestly, I don't have to hear him cut promos. I think it's more crowd participation than anything. When the way the music hit, how it do that LA Night, But then he's also working with great people. My kids ain't really care about anything LA Knight, but last night afterwards, they was yelling, because of the fact he was going against Jimmy Uso, and so he's definitely working with some great dance partners. I still say these next 3 months going into Mania are going to be very crucial for him because we talk about it's a lot of star power. Can he keep up with AJ Styles and Randy Orton as far as name? Because we watched this. I was doing went down a rabbit hole a couple months ago with CM Punk, or last month, and seeing. You remember when Alberto Del Rio cashed in, he got lost in the rabbit hole with Cena
and CM Punk. Chicago and that Chicago audience.
Yeah, and also Triple H and Kevin Nash.
Yeah,
You know, Alberto Del Rio was an afterthought. So
he was.
I totally
Yeah, he
forgot he was
definitely
there
was.
during that time.
He
I
was
totally
leading.
forgot that.
He was the Money in the Bank winner, wasn't he?
yeah,
Yeah,
He definitely was. That's a
was.
good point. He definitely was lost in the sauce, man.
yeah. I remember us talking about it. So that's what I'm interested to see. What's going to happen? Will he stay above ground or will he get lost in the sauce? You know, but you know, shout out to him getting the keys to the city. You know, for the 30 people that's in Hagerstown. So
I
shout
knew,
out to him.
I knew. As soon as you said it, I felt like I heard it in your tone. It was going to be some kind of backwards compliment. Never
No,
fails.
it's cool. It's cool. Hagerstown, cool. I toured a church up out there a couple of years ago. So
Brought the house down, huh?
you already know. Shout out to Reese.
He stepped into the water. The water was cold. It chilled his natural body, but it didn't disturb his soul. But then he moved on out.
Oh my God.
Oh man, it's my favorite song. Eddie Williams and the Family Connection. Shout out to my people.
Man.
Eddie Williams and the Family
Oh my
Connection.
gosh.
But yeah, here's what I'm not gonna say too long on LA Knight because you guys pretty much said everything else. But when he started working with Bray Wyatt and he slapped him, and I was like, okay, that showed me he could hang with so if you could hang with someone as storytelling as Bray Wyatt, you know, and he did, like he really played the role very well. Like he was still cocky guy. He could have walked away, but he chose to be LA Knight. And I was like, okay, and you know, he kind of bit on more than he can chew, and you know, it's a shame that he was Bray Wyatt's last match, but he knew he was going to that situation to lose. But he found a way to make himself relevant and keep up with Bray Wyatt enough for people to be invested in that type of match. But LA Knight cut his teeth the most as Eli Drake in Impact Wrestling, but this is officially the end of Impact Wrestling as we close out 2023. Come January 13th, I think. Hard to Kill. We have, you know, TNA Wrestling. Excuse me. Is back in the mix.
When
and
is TNA?
Say what?
When does it officially become TNA?
That pay-per-view, whatever
That
date
pay-per-view.
whatever that
Man,
Hard to
Hard
Kill
to Kill.
pay-per-view is.
First.
Is it first? Is it no? It can't be January. January first is Wrestle Kingdom. Is it really January?
I know,
1st?
but I'm just saying the name, everything. That's all. Like, why can't
Oh,
they just make it corporate? You know, but that's cool.
That's a good question. I don't know.
It comes, but I think it's January 13th is the first time there.
That's what
They put that on them the logo, and I think after that the show will be. They still want to use Impact as like the name
It's
of
a
the
TV show. The way it used to be. The show was
keep
still
it
called
as
Impact Wrestling.
It's WWE Raw. It's TNA's Impact. It's just not Impact Wrestling. It's TNA
That's
Wrestling
not
presents Impact.
We don't have to go. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But we haven't got that. The leaks, no nothing. I'm getting a little nervous. I feel like they're gonna be at Hard to Kill with the same belts.
I
hope they don't, or they don't just slap TNA over top of them, like, because you know TNA has oh shoot, we forgot about the belts. Slap a thing over top of them.
I'm a major mark, so I was listening to the Major Wrestling Figure podcast, and they said that they're definitely debuting new belts. And you know, Brian Myers is a pro wrestling guy. So is Scott D'Amore. So they said a long time ago the belts are already in process of being made. So I'm sure they'll be ready. I don't know if they'll debut at that pay-per-view or just maybe like the following night.
I think you gotta have to, because that's the TNA. That's the boom. We're back.
So.
It's TNA.
Yeah, because I don't think they have consistent TV product right now. But
because they probably want to take a bunch of shows after it.
Real quick, does it make a difference? Will we see a different product now that we kind of have the heart and soul of what they really were, instead of kind of parading around into what they eventually would become? Eli Drake cut his teeth in Impact Wrestling, but the heart and soul of what we watched really came from TNA Wrestling. It was the small promotion that was like the little engine that could, and it carved this space in professional wrestling history to the point where we're getting a resurgence of the company. Will the name change make that much of a difference?
I think so. I think it's kind of like that last boost that they need. You know, when I look at, like, just to mention in the year they had, you know, they put on some good shows. I just want them to get a better TV deal.
Yeah, we all
you
do.
know, being some more eyeballs. Like, come on, CW, y'all should have hollered at them too. You know, don't y'all want 2 wrestling programs on? But I think that name will just just be another boost. It's going to create buzz. It's a buzzworthy name. So I think it's that last thing they need. And don't be surprised if by December 31st, 2024, they be the number 2 promotion.
I say that too. That's why I say
You muted, Dwayne.
Tony Khan need to realize that's his competition.
No, sorry. Yeah, I think that's very possible. And I think if they get enough money, like I don't know what the financial aspect of it is, but if they can get somebody to invest in TNA, there's a handful of talent that's kind of not doing much in AEW right now that I would love to see in TNA wrestling. Including the Hardys. I'm skip down a little bit. 2023 has been a difficult year for a lot of wrestlers. Sorry to keep saying as well, right? But let's talk about there's something that's going on in AEW. So AEW in 2023 has had a lot of ups and a lot of downs. They did a show at Wembley. They lied about their attendance, but still a good show. Like I said, sorry to keep saying.
Did they lie about it, or did they just?
Well, there was a lot of technicality. There's a lot of technicalities involved. And it was a big deal for them. It seems like it's been a lot of ups and downs with AEW. But one of the things that we're going to lead into is because we got to talk about these 90 days non-compete clauses up, and we have to talk about some of the talent. There's a lot of talent. We heard that Matt Jackson's wife, one of the Young Bucks, has left her position as what was she, the marketing director?
Something in the marketing department.
And then somebody else, another original official. We're seeing a trend where and we also saw, what's his name? QT Marshall decide to place his resignation. And we're hearing the same thing where a lot of those AEW originals no longer want to be a part of the company, which is understandable. It's because when of course, when the company first starts, we enjoy the way it was, we fought together, we made it happen. But then naturally, as things kind of either go up and down, the business changes. Even your success can change things because you kind of force people to do things a different way because you have to expand, you have to grow, you have to bring in talent. And we're seeing a trend of a lot of these, we'll call them AEW originals or early diehards, decide to move on. What's going on in AEW? Is this going to be an upward trend for them in 2024, or is it a downward trend? So like the Hardys, Matt Hardy's been tweeting like, we feel disrespected. Now I get why he's frustrated, but no, Jeff can't stay out of trouble. God bless his soul, man. It's just I don't, you know what I mean? But he's like, we're the greatest tag team on the planet, and they look like a shell of themselves because they're not working every day. Also, the AEW schedule is much lighter, but then again, so was TNA Impacts, and we didn't get that. But I don't know. There's a lot of talent that's not happy there. You see a lot of original people leaving. So is AEW a destination going into 2024? We saw Edge. We knew Edge was going to get a spot because he was guaranteed. We know Christian was going to get a spot because he's doing his best work in 2023. But what do you think about people not being happy in AEW? Where does AEW go in 2024? I know it's a loaded question, but like I said, we don't got to spend a lot of time on it because we have
easy. Man. They see Papa H. They see Uncle Sean. Cooking.
Glad you said it, Brian H.
I want to go back.
Yeah, that's exactly, bro. That's exactly. We should have put you on the main screen for you to do that, bro. Because that's exactly what the heck happened. Do you remember what show it was when I was like, bro, it's one thing to compete with Vince. I said, but if Tony ever has to compete with Triple H, he's in trouble. And then Vince got jammed up, and I was like, holy cow.
No, it ain't just Triple H. It's Triple H's team. That's the part you missed. Tony Khan doesn't have a team that he can go to war with. He's Tony Khan's going up
against DX. You're going to lose this battle every single time. You're not beating DX. They disrupted the industry the first time.
They showed up the WCW.
The fact that we had NXT WrestleMania tells you, try it if you like it. That's what Triple H said. Try if you like it. You really want to. You realize the last time I was just in the passenger seat. This time I'm in the driver's seat. Try it if you like it. I got a whole this person. I'll see your little this and match, but I'm gonna have this. It was.
You want to do this?
That's like you sure? I'm gonna give you one last chance to.
You sure?
I'm gonna give you one chance to back out. You really create another show on Saturday, and I run PLEs, right? You really want to go head to head with my PLE? Okay. You put two of your shows together against my PLE? Yeah, good luck with that.
Terrible
You got a bunch of money. Remember Tony Khan said he got a bunch of money. But
I got a bunch of money.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Does anybody leave AEW? I don't know what the contract status is of anybody right now in AEW. Do you see anybody? Do you guys know of anybody that's like I'm going back as soon as my contract is up? You guys got any speculation? What are you thinking?
Yes.
Who you
Andrade. I don't know what
I'm almost sure he's
See, I
probably
don't know
going
if
back.
Johnny goes back or he
I'm
goes
almost sure
and
Keith
just
Lee's going back.
I think Andrade's going to go to AAA for a little while so he can have some freedom, then go back to WWE. Because it looks like he enjoys wrestling down there. But you said, I mean, it looks like he enjoys it.
Well, yeah, because you know, Triple H is probably I believe the biggest lucha promotion. You know, right? Like that, they're the top dog right now. I know CMLL is. I don't know where they stand as far as you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I've been hearing a lot about AAA, but you know, I don't know how Conan has been. You know, that whole situation. I'm not really gonna speak too much on it. But
Tony Khan really disrespected Jim Crockett and Ted Turner and Eric Bischoff.
That's also highlight of 2023 when Eric Bischoff and Tony Khan started beefing. And Eric Bischoff supported Tony Khan until Tony Khan
he was on the show.
He was until he took a couple of shots at WCW. And Eric Bischoff, brother Hugh, Eric Bischoff said, "I'm not no chump," and he's been burning them up.
Remember, because Tony Khan said he has more money. He has a bunch of money.
I got to bet
you know that's money. Yep. But I think it's going to be the NXT. I want to call it NXT guys. Triple H been righting those wrongs. So every wrong that was done to a Miro, a Andrade, Malachi, of course he wants to do with Rhea. Can you imagine Malachi Black in the Judgment Day? They kick out. You talk about oh my god,
you
Buddy
kick out
Murphy,
Damien.
You can't even do that. You got the House of Black. If I think the House of Black could show up, the whole House of Black could show up in WWE. Brody King has been treated like a superstar in AEW. I don't think.
But what about Julia? You can't leave her behind because she's coming to her own in a short time. Her interest music is one of the highlights of 2023. And to hear the story about how what's his name said that he took her to the mall with his wife and said, "We're gonna get you some new stuff," and she picked out the hat. That whole story, I was like, I can appreciate that.
That hat has been working.
Yeah, she's vested. Her whole entrance, everything about her, just like, oh man, imagine her in a bigger stage. But I think that all of those people, I think the list is going to be who stays is going to be shorter than who leaves.
They've got plenty of talent. I think they'll be okay regardless. But yeah, AEW, like I said, we'll wrap up the show with some of our highlights. I have a list of some of the things we enjoyed in AEW and some
real quick, did you see that Wrestle Talk was reporting? I forgot who the source was, that the reason that was it Matt's wife was leaving because of all the stuff that went down with the Young Bucks. That's why she's leaving, because
they're not over that. I see, this is making me
nervous. Yeah, because he said nobody they could defend themselves in public, and nor did Tony Khan come to
they had some
either
NDAs.
Side NDAs. Yeah, and Jericho blurted out, "Well, I didn't sign one."
Well, so, yeah, what's up with you, Jericho? Jericho's being rebellious.
The fact that he said that,
Jericho need to chill out. He's starting to show gray hair. Like, bro, you might not got as much
gray hair. He's starting to show less hair.
Him and Sammy Guevara teaming up again for the millionth time.
Yeah, because nobody cares about Sammy Guevara.
Right.
Like, you gotta constantly put him with somebody that's relevant.
Yeah.
Because like he had a whole singles run and nobody cares. But
you know, that one spot with Cody, but.
I'm not here to bash Sammy Guevara, but what I am here to do is talk about another thing that we got in 2023, and I'm glad the fans are still rocking and rolling. Was Brian has been working hard, man. He saw this movie, The Iron Claw.
Yes, sir.
And we've been talking about this movie probably for the last maybe 2 or 3 weeks now, and we're seeing raging reviews about the movie itself. Even if you're not a wrestling, this I know you have a crossover hit. If you're not a wrestling fan, and you still enjoy what you're seeing, not because of its wrestling, but just the fact of the story that's being told. Lots of controversy, but this has such a we've heard the story of the Von Erichs in so many different lights, and so many positive lights and so many negative lights. But to me, what I'm hearing is this movie is kind of the balance, and the way people have responded to it has been absolutely tremendous, and it's great for the wrestling business as a whole. So my question is, as we wrap up 2023, do we get more movies like this, more mainstream movies about some of these iconic stories? in professional wrestling that we've been accustomed to. When you think about Ric Flair, Jerry Lawler, and the Hart family, and so many of these other stories that we've heard in Dark Side of the Ring and these A&E biography and WWE documentaries. Do we see more of these type of mainstream movies like the Iron Claw going forward based off these professional wrestling stories?
I think so. I mean, if you do this with Devon Eriks, right? A family that definitely is very influential in the business. But if we be honest, a lot of us, we're probably like the last generation that's going to have any sort of memory of them, and that being through the Texas tornado for us that do remember him. There's so many stories out there like the Hart families whose legacy is essentially still being written as we speak, because you look at all the stuff Natty's doing. But you could tell the story of a Bret the Hitman Hart, a family, and because here's the thing, Be Equate PR did a review of the movie, and one of the things I brought up was, what if there was a daughter? And I can say this now, the movie's out, everybody knows the story, but
sure.
And there's a difference between Stu Hart and Fritz Von Erich, because if you read Bret Hart's book, Natty's mother, Ellie, was the one who kind of like had Stu. That was his baby girl, even though she was like the oldest, I believe. So this movie talks about, like, it's very heavy like masculinity and stuff like that. So I'm wondering, and the brothers couldn't show feelings. So I would love to see a movie about the Hart family, because you have a whole bunch of siblings,
that would be
all
dynamic.
wrestlers, all dating wrestlers.
Yeah.
But the middle child becomes the biggest star, best wrestler out of all of them.
Yeah, kind of.
So I would love to see that. But also just the other stories, right? The rise of Hulk Hogan, the guy who essentially
that's supposed to be coming out, right? Well, I know they moved it from Netflix, right? Because they had some issues.
Well, that was Vince.
Oh,
that was a documentary. Yeah, Vince documentary.
No.
Wait, Hogan got a movie?
Yes, with Chris Hemsworth, the guy who plays Thor.
You're right.
It was supposed to be on Netflix, but I think Hogan had announced, like,
did they move it off of Netflix or something?
But, yeah, because he said he took the rights to the movie away from them. They had some, I don't know if it was creative differences or it was a financial thing. I think it was a financial. The deal fell through, and he was like, he had tweeted out, like, you know what, the deal was supposed to go through, some stuff, some I's weren't dotted, some T's weren't crossed, and we couldn't get a deal done in time. So he owns the exclusive rights to his stories. So the movie that was in place was it's not supposed to be taking place. Like I said, Chris Hemsworth, the guy who played Thor, Chris Hemsworth, was supposed to be I think it's Chris Hemsworth, that's his name. Supposed to play Hogan in an upcoming movie. But yeah, Hogan said they were both moving it, shopping it around to somebody else. But like I said, I don't know how far they got, but I know Chris Hemsworth was getting jacked the same way Zac Efron and them got jacked for this movie.
And it would be interesting to see, and Brother Raj, her family could be a documentary series. That's what I said about the Iron Claw. I would love to see somebody tackle this as a documentary series, because it's so many stories, and it definitely would be very dark, because if spoiler alert, they don't have Chris Von Erich in the movie. I'm pretty sure everybody's seen that on a lot of reviews and stuff. So, and because essentially it would make the story even darker. So, but if you look at, like, we see Ric Flair. Imagine Ric Flair getting to see his life portrayed in a movie.
I think that's kind of, it has to come, because he's been like guys like Ric Flair and Jerry Lawler had like 9 lives. So that was the one I was thinking, Brian H. So I was like, because we could think about it, Ric Flair is just getting comfortable talking about his story. He's always told us the basics of it, like, oh yeah, I was a black market baby, and I was stolen from my parents. But then they recently did that one recent story on was it the network?
Peacock. Yeah,
Peacock. And remember, we were watching, like, well, why are they doing this? Because Ric Flair almost got canceled because of that Dark Side episode of the plane ride from hell, Flight 666.
Cheap. Shout out to Chalkline. The price drop around that.
Look at that. Wow, it's appropriate.
And like 59, $79.99.
Wow, that was actually a good price. And I remember, once again, they told that same story on WWE Storytime, the little animation show, but it was so much lighthearted than compared to, you talk to the young lady that was affected by it.
Yeah, that was.
But then we find out why Ric Flair is the way that he is, why he's such a avid drinker, and what it's like, bro. He's been through some traumatic stuff like that stuff mentally doesn't go anywhere. And then when wrestling is your outlet and wrestling is your thing, and it's like if Ric Flair is not involved with wrestling, he's almost on the verge of dying. Because Scott Hall was the same way, like if these guys weren't in the business, it was hard for them to deal with. Like when you hear that story about a lot of former professional wrestlers that are used to being in that spotlight. Natalia said it about Jim Notto. He said my father, even when his I don't know if he had Alzheimer's. I think it was Alzheimer's. It wasn't dementia, but he said he said my dad struggled not being in the spotlight. We've heard that story 1,000 times. So, but Ric Flair, you're like, well, sheesh. We see why you drink so much and why you party and why you can't let it go. Because this is the only life that you've known, because you were essentially were stolen from somebody and then given an entire identity. So even if you wanted to go back, you're like, bro, I don't want to go back. I want to keep the people that were my parents. He found out that he had a birth brother. He's like, yeah, like I didn't even reach out. Like, what do we have to talk about? We're both in our 70s. And I was just like, man, that's gotta be birth. Yeah, you remember that line?
That was
like,
yeah,
he was like,
no, I remember. I just say it's wild.
I know, it's great. It's great. He's like, well, we're in our 70s. What do we have to talk about? I was like, dang, that's
we
rough.
missed their whole lives. Their whole lives are.
But he'll talk to strangers.
Because
anybody see him,
you know why?
Because they know him. They grew up with him.
He has a brother that's telling him, your name's not Ric Flair. I forgot what it was. It was a very random name. And he said it. He said, I found out what my real name was. It was something. Shoot. And he looked so disgusted saying it. It's because in his mind, he was always Richard Flair. And I was like, man. And he didn't want to be Richard Flair. He wanted to be Ric Flair. I was just like, man,
Fred Phillips.
Fred Phillips. That's what I was about to say something like Phillips, something. But Fred Phillips. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, imagine us being who we are. All of a sudden, we're seeing citizens. Somebody goes, oh, that's not who you are. You're really Pete Bowler, and you're like, dude, I don't know who the heck that is.
Yeah,
especially at that age, you're like, bro, I almost died a couple of times, like, and I'm in my 70s. You think I want to hear, oh, come meet your family? It's like, nah, I'm good. So that's definitely a movie. Him and Jerry Lawler are like, oof.
Yeah, definitely.
I can only imagine. But Brian, like I said, Brian, they sold me on it. I'm actually gonna check it out, and I'll probably I'll probably go down that Von Erich rabbit hole, man. But 2023 is a good year for wrestling films.
You couldn't help yourself. I knew it was coming.
I was telling you, bro. I was like, you know what?
Brother,
shoot. What do you do? Let's see there. Up there it is. Shout out to Ric Flair,
it's no K in Rick.
Man, Ric Flair got on TV for 1 week. By week 3, he was gone already. He's like, I'm glad the check cleared. I wonder if Woo the Woo juice is still the official energy drink for AW.
No, but you see now you got Woo coins.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
you got what?
Woo coins.
You said stop it.
Crypto.
Yeah, crypto. He's trying to capitalize off the Ric Flair brand and make his money outside of wrestling.
5 O's.
Yeah.
Make sure you put 5 O's. He's smart though.
5 O's. Yep. Wow.
He's the ultimate of you can't take it with you. That's why he lived his life.
Listen to me. He'll tell you in a heartbeat. He's like, I have all suits, $10,000 a piece. I can't help it. Like Ric Flair. No, it doesn't matter. I can't help it. I have to have it. I've never worn the same suit in almost 50 years. I'm like, what? But
hold on, yo.
Yeah,
Conan was cool with the NWO black and red, bro.
He was. Yes, he was. He had us all speaking Spanish, bro. He had us all speaking Spanish, no doubt. He was the guy. He was the guy that he never got a solid action figure the way he was supposed to, but that's a different conversation for a different day.
Especially because he was the Hulk Hogan of Mexico.
He was a huge guy. I didn't know that until the Rey Mysterio story.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio. That's his OG. You know, he always said,
I didn't know that.
And Conan to say Rey Mysterio is the greatest of all time, but
and if he said that, he stamped it because I didn't realize how big of a deal Conan was in Mexico. You know, I knew he was instrumental in booking everybody. He was kind of the liaison from WCW to Rick. But by the time he got to WCW, we found out about him and thought he was over. He was on the back end, like he was just riding the wave. And then he had a whole crazy run in TNA when they got started. So shout out to Conan.
That's the thing about TNA. They got that library, man. And
Yeah.
if you don't, turn on Pluto, Impact Wrestling Channel.
One of my favorite channels, and they just made the deal with Endeavor Sports for their new streaming platform, right?
Mm-hmm.
Makes you
And
wonder.
the thing is, they also showing stuff like as recent as like October, November.
Yeah, they
So it's
definitely
not
do that.
like all the way, all old stuff.
Yeah. No, Impact Plus is. I remember that listening to a podcast, and they was like, "Man, they should probably advertise that more." I think it's like $9.99 a month. Same thing with No, I'm
Okay.
thinking about Honor Club, but they were saying like they have the entire back catalog, but Endeavor Sports, man, one half of TKO Sports, owners of WWE, cut a deal with
That was a big
Impact to
deal
create
this year.
to cut a deal to make a streaming platform. I wonder they probably gonna see how good this goes. And
How
I think
about
we gonna
Endeavor
see
this
the
year though?
Endeavor's a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing that we kind of skipped over, but Endeavor Sports, kind of you talk about a juggernaut in media and sports, creating TKO Sports and buying the WWE and giving us the product that we have been craving for such a long time. Where were you guys when you guys realized that that it was true that the WWE was going to be sold and no longer underneath the McMahon umbrella?
Bro, I just woke up in LA.
Wow.
This is like, getting ready for I think because when it broke when it stuff was coming out and I wasn't paying attention. So the next morning, like when it all came through, and it was like probably like 4 a.m. LA time. I'm like, wait, what? And I was just like, okay, this is about to be a day. And I had to fly back to Baltimore, and it was oof. Now the crazy part was that horrible Raw After Mania, probably the worst in history.
That was awkward. It was like Triple H. Come on now, what are you doing, brother?
Nah, bro, you know better. That was Vince. He came in and said, "I got this."
Oh shit, that was
Remember
Vince.
he
Right.
started.
It was Vince. Yeah.
He was tearing up the rewrites to the script and no.
delaying Trish Stratus heel turn. You had all this. The best thing about it was Brock Lesnar attacking Cody.
Yeah, no doubt, because we kind of got that story with Cody Rhodes in his hero's journey. But that was a big deal, man. TKO Sports on the WWE. The product has been so good, I haven't really even been worried about it. I know we had our concerns, but what the hey? It's been one of those years. But let's go into our segment. Good for business, bad for business. Now, today's good for business, bad for business, sponsored by It Could Be You. And if you want to advertise with Wrestling Wrealm, hit us up at wrestlingwrealm@gmail.com. Good for business, bad for business. Today's good for business, bad for business segment. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say. Is it's timely because we have an intersecting of storylines, right? Cody Rhodes is expected to finish his story. We don't know when and how right now. And we were thrown for a swerve last year when Cody Rhodes won the Rumble, earned his way to the title shot, and he lost. Thoroughly disappointed, but I understood it after a while what happened. But
yeah,
that was just bad.
Yeah.
But CM Punk is now returned, and now he kind of cut a promo in New York at Madison Square Garden. He said, "When I win the Royal Rumble, I'm not here to finish a story. This is me just getting started." So the question is, this week's good for business, bad for business. Does CM Punk need to win the Royal Rumble? What's more important? Who's going to finish their story first, Cody Rhodes or CM Punk? So what do you guys think? Brother Brandon, you've been kind of quiet on the subject. Does CM Punk need to win the Royal Rumble this year? Come on, you spoke on TNA and all those stuff. Don't get quiet when it comes to CM Punk.
Of course, you would ask me about CM Punk.
Oh, that's a coincidence. I just happened to see you first.
So I don't know if you remember back on one of the past shows when I made a joke about just give us CM Punk, Cody, The Rock, and Roman all in the main event to shut everybody up.
Yeah, kind of. Yep.
That was
the sad part is, I hope that's not the story we're going to tell, because especially when CM Punk made that comment, I think he does need to win the Royal Rumble, because how else do you get him to Seth, or how else do you get Cody to Roman? You know what I mean? Like a repeat winner in Cody, it might not end well for Cody as a repeat winner. Cody has been getting people on his back by fighting the adversity, by going against it, struggling, clawing, and trying to get to it. Punk needs this Rumble win because has he ever won the Rumble? He hasn't never won the Rumble, has he?
Nope. No.
No, yeah. So this is what he needs it. Would it be good for business? Yes, because you got to keep the crowd behind him in some way, shape, or form. Because I mean, do we all know that a heel turn is coming for CM Punk, or do we think that he's going to be the face forever?
He's gonna ride the wave for a long time. No Punk, he can switch
And
it up when
so
he wants to, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Until it deems necessary, he'll switch it. But I think that is good for business if he wins the Rumble. I think it's bad for business if Cody wins the Rumble.
first of all, I take offense to that. I take personal offense to that. Like, there you go. But
And the reason I say it's bad, it's too easy for him to get to Roman that way.
have you heard of Brock Lesnar? Have you heard of Brock Lesnar? How's it too easy? You know you have to go through just to get respect from that big behemoth.
But you know, Shinsuke's spitting in his face right now. He's got to have more challenges.
Shinsuke is the man, by the way.
Yeah, and I'm not. I'm just saying, like, put Cody in a bubble.
It's too many other hills to climb right now. You don't believe now is his time? No pun, John Cena.
No,
okay.
I don't think that he needs. I think it would be bad if he won the Rumble. That was too easy for him to get to the story.
Yeah, I don't think he should win the Rumble.
Yeah,
you got to do like an elimination chamber thing or something.
Yeah, he's got to survive some. He's got to fight some more so he can, the
hero's
make a new
journey.
T-shirt that
like
say,
Gilgamesh.
I'm waiting for the shirt of him doing like this and ripping his shirt and he got his symbol under it like he's Superman or something. I'm just waiting for that.
If you see it, they owe you some money because that's how you know how to get down. Brother Hugh. Brother Hugh. What's more important, CM Punk winning or Cody finishing his story? And no, that's too easy. I take it back. You get.
I was gonna say that.
Let me ask you this, Brother Hugh. There's no doubt in my mind that CM Punk coming back derails previous plans. If CM Punk does not come back the way he comes back now, because to me he's my favorite to win it, who was supposed to win the Royal Rumble and go on to main event WrestleMania?
I mean, of course, the obvious choice is Cody. Finish the story and all that, and then of course Gunther.
So you had Cody. You had Cody win back-to-back Rumbles.
I don't want to. I don't want to see it, but I mean, let's be honest. They were probably going to go with that. Oh, it's just story spill again, WrestleMania, 40, whatnot. But Gunther, see him or maybe an LA Knight, but does LA Knight really need that?
Nah, he's not ready.
Because he's already over like crazy. So other than that, I don't really have anybody else. It was wide open from there. If CM Punk didn't come back, to be honest. But CM Punk, he does have to win this Rumble. He has to
need about 90 more days to pass the record for the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion, right?
I don't know. Is it that far along?
I think he needs like 90 more days or so. So if he gets to Mania, he'll be the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion. I think that's why they haven't pulled the trigger on him dropping it, because probably the original plan was for him to drop the Intercontinental title, win the Rumble, face Seth. Because nobody could beat Seth. Nobody could beat Gunther. But now since Gunther, hold on to that title. Hold on, we're going to do something else with you then. And then next year will be his.
Pedro's 619. So yeah, he's down there right there.
Yeah, he's 560 or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so 90 days will be Mania. He'll be already past it. It'll just be extra days.
And these are total numbers too, because he's got the longest single reign, I think. But yeah, total most combined days is 619 for Pedro.
All right. Well, that makes sense. I mean, so are you saying that CM Punk needs to win the Royal Rumble? Is it good for business or bad for business? Cody Rhodes winning instead of CM Punk winning over Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, it's good for business for CM Punk. I mean, that's what's right now. Let's be honest.
True.
All of the fans, they want CM Punk to finish his story. They want him to get his win, his Royal Rumble win. They want him to get his main event match. That's it.
So
you might as well do it while he's the highest thing in wrestling right now.
Right. So Kevin Owens can stop throwing his face that he main evented with Stone Cold Steve Austin, his dream.
Right.
That's why I was laughing. I was laughing when Kevin Owens walked past me. He's like, you seen Nick Aldis's office? Kevin Owens got his face and said, no. He's like, yeah, thanks for your help. I said, yeah, he stuffed me like, yeah. Austin had his last match with me, chump. Brian H, good for business, bad for business. Cody Rhodes winning the I keep saying Cody Rhodes. CM Punk winning the Royal Rumble over Cody Rhodes.
Good for business. And everybody will always say, well, you just can't just give him back everything. It's like in sports, right? You don't get Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts. We like to hope and believe they get contracts for what they're going to do. But most of the time, Chris Davis, you get contracts for what you did already. You know what I mean? And CM Punk put that work in before. Did he leave and everything he did? Absolutely. But like you tweeted earlier at Dwayne Allen 24, where you can send all your hate tweets to the Wrestling Wrealm at Dwayne Allen 24.
Yes, I welcome them. Please do.
And get cooked. But like you said, like he was the godfather for a lot of the wrestlers that we enjoy. And again, Seth Rollins said he hated the fact that he had to talk bad about him because he said a lot of stuff he did for his career. So when you look at that, it's not CM Punk being given everything on a silver platter. That was more for Cody, because I'm not going to say Cody didn't put the work in, but Cody wasn't a main eventer who was slighted. He was just a mid-carder. So he had to go out and build himself back up like Drew McIntyre. CM Punk, you could make the argument, was a main eventer who was slighted. So now it's like righting that wrong. So it would be good for business for him to win the Royal Rumble, go against Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. He can win the title night one, so everybody can be happy. And then you know the rest of us say. I don't have to say it.
I'm curious to see what they do. There you go, man. You always just the Cody hate is unreal.
It's no hate. I love Cody.
No, it is.
I would rather see him walk around with a belt that looks like the one that you just unveiled tonight. That's similar to it. You know, I would like to, but he put himself in that position to say, that's not my story. Well, guess what, buddy?
Because Vince.
No. WWE put him in that position.
He said the words. He said
no.
The words.
WWE put him in that position because if they would have kept the belts separate, Roman would have the most historic reign with the Universal title, Cody, and then this year could have been mashed together, and he could have been the Ultimate Champion. Because if they would have just let him, when he run the Rumble, say, "I want the WWE Championship, not the Universal," they could have worked that stuff out of this whole conundrum, and then we could have had two separate champions right now.
But they wanted the most stupendous WrestleMania of all time.
I still miss Paul Heyman with both belts behind him. That was actually funny.
No, that was
when
always
he was walking behind.
Even when he first got the title, he was still carrying those belts with him for a little bit.
Paul Heyman probably said, "Look, I'm not carrying these no more. They heavy." That's the first thing everybody always say. You let him hold a belt. Man, this is heavy.
It looked heavy the way he was holding it. He was like this, all trying to keep those belts intact. But we're close to the end of the show, brothers. We've done an excellent job. Quick AW break. I'm going to give the realnesses. I'm going to give the realnesses. So good for business, bad for business. CM Punk winning. We'll see what happens after that. AW break. I'm going to talk about all the great things that I saw this year in AW that I enjoyed. I'm going to read the list off.
Cue up the social clip.
Here we go. All the great things that I thought AW did in 2023. Tony Storm, Roderick Strong, Christian Cage, Hook, Ethan Page, Julia Hart. Sting announces his retirement. Nice segment. Daniel Bryan's braided hair. I think he looks cool. He looks cool. Like a pirate with braided hair. I wonder if a black girl did his hair. The Wembley Stadium show. It wasn't what they said it was, but it was still a good show. Samoa Joe stayed healthy for once, and his Ring of Honor TV title reign. MJF and Adam Cole. The firm deletion, contrary to popular demand, Samoa Joe aligning with the devil character in AEW. And I believe that's it. Those are the things. So I just want to take a quick AEW break. Quick AEW break while we just kind of transition on to, once again, all the great things that we enjoyed in 2023 as we wrap up this year, and we're close to wrapping up this show. We talked about the Bloodline and Roman winning, man, and like I said, brother Brandon and I just went back and forth about the Bloodline and their importance. The Bloodline is obviously the MVP of 2023, just kind of capping off the important chapters of that story. I'll say we don't have time to get into another debate, but we
Real
definitely
quick,
saw a lot.
breaking
Yeah, go
news.
ahead. Mm-hmm.
Announced as a senior finalist for the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2024, the one and only, the former Four Horseman himself, Steve Mongo McMichael.
Good for him. Mongo's had
I want to say his name first because I didn't want people to think the worst, but
sure, yeah.
Because I just saw like people like talking, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah,
he's had a rough year, so I think it's great
Mhm.
that the Mongo gets to be acknowledged. No pun intended.
I hope he gets put in. He's a fine for the scene. I guess like probably like the legacy wing or whatever, that they do. But you can't 85 Bears, man.
Sure.
And just thinking about
Sure.
Steve Mongo McMichael, along with Lawrence Taylor, introduced me to the NFL through
Sure.
WrestleMania 11.
Yeah.
That whole big thing. And he was up for WWE. Like the WWE was negotiating with him at the time. WCW
I had no idea.
probably had a bit bigger bag, and bigger opportunity. Yeah.
No,
So,
I that for a fact. They do that. They would throw money at everybody. I guarantee.
Yeah,
paper.
once they had Hogan, it was a wrap.
Yeah, and once people saw commercially worked, WCW was. But so shout out to Mongo once again. That's another great thing that we've had. That we kind of got it late in 2023 with but we talked about the Bloodline and this amazing
what
story.
A beautiful picture. God darn, Sammy. We had
The
nice
amazing
things.
story, the amazing roller coaster that they took us on, man. And like I said, their purpose, I think they're trying to, like I said, Triple H is always about building the next generation, and I think the Bloodline is starting to be about Jimmy Uso's new identity along with Solo. I think Solo's going to be the focal point. Like this is all going to be for Solo when this is all said and done.
Tribal heir.
Yeah, and once everybody kind of clears house a little bit, Roman takes some time off probably again. Solo's gonna have a chance to spread his wings, and that story's gonna be what it is. But as the Bloodline began to fall, we got the rise of the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day started off with Edge, and he kind of got this young faction together, but they added Dominic Mysterio and most recently JD McDonough and Damian Priest kind of put on the performance of a lifetime with Bad Buddy at
and Archer.
Back.
I was about to say, he's gonna forget about Archer.
At back. No. I was leading up to it at Backlash, and then the work that they're doing now with R-Truth shows the versatility. Like he has them laughing every week when they're supposed to be tough guys. Damian Priest can't get himself together, and neither can Finn Balor. Every week, these guys are chuckling and giggling, and Rhea kind of assuming the role of as this leader, this manipulative kind of puppet master behind the strings. Not to mention, Women's World Heavyweight Championship, Women's World Heavyweight Champion has been doing an amazing job. As we saw the Bloodline kind of falling by the wayside, we saw the rise of the Judgment Day. They're going to go down in history as one of the most important factions in WWE's history. Simply for what it's done for all their careers at the places that they've done them at, right? Think about what Finn is, think about what Damian, as well as Dom and Rhea and JD McDonough, and now R-Truth. You know what I mean? So what do you guys think about the rise of the Judgment Day in 2023?
It's been great.
I'm glad.
Oh, go ahead, Brandon.
No, I just love the fact that Finn became a Grand Slam champion from this group. You know what I mean? Like, because it felt like he probably was never going to get that last accolade. And so I was, I'm a Finn Balor guy, but it feel like they fit into that space very well, very quickly. And if this is the faction that we're going to have for a while, let's roll with it. I mean, do we need JD? It was a nice little addition, but need somebody to take the pin.
He's there to take X-Pac bumps.
Yeah, you need somebody, but even for Rhea Ripley's career, she's truly all she got to do is win the Money in the Bank, and then she'll have one up above Bayley now. But which y'all know how I feel about Bayley. I think it's going to be a good thing. 2024 is definitely going to be a year that we're going to be still talking about him.
Brother Hugh, the Rise of the Judgment Day. How do you feel about it?
I don't care for it. Sorry, no, I'm
really.
I
was about to say, because remember JD, what he did to Ziggler. Remember? He always
shoot, my fault. Dang, my bad.
I thought he was kicked out.
See, I wasn't even gonna go there.
With them.
I wasn't even gonna go there.
MSG.
My fault, I forgot.
Truth had him kicked out.
Yeah.
Technically, he did lose.
That was supposed.
But he said he was trying to have a record. Yeah, it's supposed to have been struck for the record.
But technically, R-Truth is not really a part of the Judgment Day.
Right.
And he's like, why are you guys even considering it? They're like, well, JD's kind of got a point. He's like, she's not even a part of the group. They're like, well, shoot, neither kind of are you, but we'll see. But what do you think about the Rise of the Judgment Day, Brother Hugh?
The Judgment Day is a great thing because it put a bunch of talent together that needed to be able to stay relevant, and they needed to be able to evolve, and it played its part.
Yeah.
Storyline wise, everybody, like character wise, everybody is pretty much in their prime right now. With Finn becoming a Grand Slam champion, Rhea, you already know how she is. Rhea is the best women's talent right now on the roster.
She's definitely top dog
as a superstar. Yes.
Yeah.
Dominic Mysterio. I had no faith in Dominic Mysterio at all at first, but let's be honest, the man is the top heel in the business.
Yeah, that reaction is real.
Yeah, I'm still kind of iffy on his ring work, but he's going out there and he's delivering. He's doing his job. He's doing it. Yeah, he's doing his job.
I will say this, but he is a little bit slow.
He is
because I saw his match with Randy Orton and I was like, he can't keep up with Randy Orton.
Right.
And Randy Orton,
he is
slow.
He is getting better though.
Yeah, he is. You're right. You're absolutely right.
He is improving. Yeah. I'll give him that. But I wasn't the biggest fan of at first, but he's growing on me. You know I love heels. And Damian Priest.
Yeah.
Man, Damian Priest can do no wrong.
We saw him in Ring of Honor.
See, like what's next?
Punishment Martinez.
Yeah, Punishment Martinez. Yep. Always liked him since then. But I'm just eager to see what's next for him. How they gonna?
You like tall guys that wear leather pants, the long leather like Tess. It does because I remember we said like he keeps wearing those long leather pants like Tess. So of course he's like, I like tall guys. That's what he really was trying to say.
Kane,
Tess, Big Show, like this. But yeah, no, it makes sense though.
We did love the Big Show.
Yeah. Which Big Show are you talking about? So like we're not gonna go there. So yeah, there he is. I was waiting for Brother Hugh to catch on. But yeah, man. Like I said, we watched Punishment Martinez with BJ Whitmer, and then eventually he was part of that devil gang with Kevin Sullivan. It's like you got to let that '80s devil gimmick go. But to see what he has become, and I like the point that you made, Brother Hugh, about how like it's. I know it's not easy for everybody in the faction to have their moment in the spotlight for a different reason. It's hard to do because usually a faction is usually built around one person. That was one of the many flaws of the Hurt Business during the pandemic era, was because they were all just heaters for Bobby.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But like Judgment Day, Dom's got beef with somebody on the main roster, and he's got beef with somebody in NXT. Rhea's got beef with whoever Dom has beef with, but she's also got beef because somebody's on her back because she's a World Heavyweight Champion. Finn and Damien are picking at each other because Finn wants to bring his buddy, his man's in for 20 years. And Damien's like, well, who's in charge? And I'm the Money in the Bank winner, and I'm the one that's having this matches. So there's these dynamics where each member stands out in their own way, and it's different from what we saw with the Bloodline. The Bloodline was focused on one guy and his family members kind of being guilted and forced into what he made it seem like was like blatant bloodline tradition. This is the way it's been in our culture for years. You just don't. You just have to conform to it. And he kind of manipulated his cousins. That's how we looked at it, versus, like you said, with the Judgment Day. Everybody had their different things. So all great points. But it's almost time for us to wrap this up, man. We got all this. We got literally all this stuff into it in 2023, man. It's one heck of a year. But we're gonna finish off with these two questions that we got. I'm trying to go as fast as I can, but what are your biggest disappointments in 2023? If you have any, if you don't have any, that's fine. But biggest disappointment in 2023, Brian H.
Biggest disappointment, I would say, is the fact that MJF is still champion.
Wow, really? Let me ask you this. Like I said, I hate when y'all do this because I just want to let y'all do your thing and go through it. But then y'all get me thinking, and now I'm curious to know what you think.
Mm-hmm.
We accused MJF of not having no feuds. We kept saying like he don't have no dance partners to make him relevant, and he's pretty much wrestled probably everybody that's available right now, and he's had a couple of notable feuds this year. You're still disappointed that he's still AEW champion, but I look at it like, well, who's going to be champion if it's not him at this point? But go ahead. I'm curious to hear what you have to say.
I mean, I understand it, but I also don't think you need to mirror what you see what's going on, right? You want the mirror. To me, when somebody's a dominant champion, I need to be able to believe that they can go out there and beat anybody you put in front of them. Case in point, growing up, when Bret Hart had his run in 94, I felt that Bret could beat anybody because Bret Hart made you feel like he was getting ready to go into a fight and fight for his life. When Shawn Michaels, once he overcame and the way he won, like after he came back from being beat up from the brothers in Syracuse, then that led to him eliminating Vader and Yokozuna at the same time, eliminating Diesel in the Royal Rumble, right? All that led me to believe that he could beat anybody. I don't feel the same thing with MJF. I would have rather see him drop the title and win it again because I feel like just a little bit of adversity there. So that's how I feel. Y'all thoughts? Or was there anything that disappointed y'all besides Brandon and the Bloodline?
I'm sorry, you was talking?
Wow. This is what we doing here?
So I'm gonna tell you the one thing that disappointed me this year was Tony Khan and his big announcements.
My bad, though.
Yo,
that's the biggest disappointment. Every time it's like I don't even care. Like I'm gonna make an announcement about an announcement I'm gonna make next week. So too that I'm gonna make an announcement that we're gonna sell tickets in 3 months for a show next year. I'm gonna make an announcement that I signed this person, but you can't see him yet. He got to finish this. I'm gonna make an announcement that I'm changing the title name because this. I'm making an announcement to change. So I was like, oh my god, dude, stop it! Like his announcements, and I had to really sit back and think about it. Does his announcement ever live up to the hype?
No.
Did any of his announcement ever have that? When so I'm gonna compare it to the wrestling family that we know. When Vince or Stephanie was on TV to make an announcement, it was to shake something up or to say something's about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very far and few in between. Granted,
True.
They announced the Universal Championship. They unveiled it. Was like, what is this? They announced the 24/7 Championship. You're like, okay, what is this? They announced the draft coming back, the date of the draft. It's like always a big thing. He announced Nick Aldis, so it's like in the world where the announcements are done less often, whether they have an impact or not, dude, your announcements are falling flat. And a big disappointment is stop attacking people and focus on you.
Yeah.
So that's one of the biggest disappointments. And also,
I did also like I say one of your that question though. Long term, one announcement that paid off was Christian. That's it.
But he built it. Yeah. He built it wrong. Remember?
Yeah. Like I said, long term. In the end, everything else, like you said, fall flat. Christian was like, and again at that time, it was like, okay, cool.
He is a main event talent. He's a Hall of Fame worthy. And everybody was expecting.
And we thought we was just gonna get kind of the same thing we had been getting, which we would have been, fine with getting him in good matches and whatever. But this run is like, oh, he reinvented himself.
Like, so did not. I hate to say it. So did Badass Billy Gunn. He reinvented himself.
Yeah.
That kind of sparked a new light in him, and then
he wiped the Billy and Chuck stink off of him.
You think he just did that? Boy?
No, he knocked that cute boy Kip off of him. Remember that?
That too. And the one Billy Gunn.
Both of them, yeah.
Because now you're gonna think about this, and you're gonna think about the DX run.
New Age Outlaws. Yep, you're gonna think about you're gonna forget about everything in between. And don't get me wrong. And I want to say one of the other biggest disappointments in 2023 was the re-signings to do nothing. The
like Emma,
Karrion Kross, Emma,
wait a minute
and
okay, here we go. He waits to the end of the night to decide he want to start a full-blown debate.
No, and what you call it? And remember, we were all in when Dexter Lumis came back, and it was like, all right, he's going to do something.
Oh shoot, I forgot about dude.
Man.
We're still waiting.
Triple H is trying to right all the wrongs, but everybody's got to get in line.
But you got rid of, you re-signed and got rid of Top Dollar. Mm-hmm. And now look what happened to Hit Row.
Yeah,
no
that was
no dollar slander.
No, I'm just saying, like, you brought them back, you released them, you did the same thing Vince did when they got rid of Shane Strickland. Let's be honest. Then they fell to the wayside. Now they fell again. So it's like, oh man, what was the plan here? You know what I mean? Like, what are we going to see? What you call it, repackaged completely, and then B-Fab do something totally different?
Most likely.
You know what I mean? So
that the hip hop thing ain't working for us. But I don't like it with with freaking Reggie doing the NXT. Remember he went from flipping wearing tuxedo short suit pants and wearing a mask. Yeah, man, we come from the streets. I'm like, nah, bro, come on.
You got to ride the bike out, walking the bike to the ring. That was the worst thing ever.
Like, bro,
that was a letdown.
You were Carmelo Sommelier. Cut it out, buddy. No, but yeah, it's I think with Karrion Kross, I know he's been a disappointment in the ring, but like we saw
what he did on social.
Well, see, yeah, and that's kind of what kept him alive because he's kind of on like LA Knight status. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, one day it's gonna click. Okay, I got you. I see where you're going there.
You feel me? So it's like you come to hear the gimmick, you hear the promo, and you want to hear his thought process, his ideology, right? But then you know what I mean? So like he's done the promo we just saw recently on SmackDown because he's pretty much talking about there's no scribes or authors. We know the authors of pain are coming back because Triple H has got to right all his wrongs. There's no scribes, no authors for the pain that has been caused. Like, okay, see, there we go. But he's cut that same promo where he was like, I took away Shinsuke's honor. I took away Ray's patience. I took away Drew McIntyre's
humanity. Something like that.
It's because when he first came back, we were like, bro, what are you doing? Because he went to Roman with the hourglass. He said, I told Roman like his time was up, like somebody was gonna flip on him. You know what I mean? So they're trying to double back and try to make it all make sense. Because at the time we were like, in the freaking Drew McIntyre buried him when he goes, Drew McIntyre, he puts the hourglass goes TikTok. He goes, hourglasses don't go TikTok. I said,
don't go TikTok.
That was the words. I was like,
you didn't see Scarlett with that TikTok with that sand glass for a minute. Like we just thought, like he's been on TV.
That's because he was traumatized because Adam Cole. He was reliving Adam Cole, but he told him it didn't go when it don't go TikTok. He said, "Damn it, there we got me again."
That's the problem when you too nice. Karrion Kross is definitely like top 5 nicest people you can meet.
I believe that.
They were trying them. They were like, let's see what you got. Like,
exactly.
Guys trying to get a push. You know, we have big plans for you. Let's see. And he just couldn't hang. I was so disappointed with his match at Extreme Rules with Drew, the cage match.
Him and Ray, him and Shinsuke, all his matches were like, I think it's the hair.
The gimmick to me, the gimmick works, and I like it. But like I said, he has to deliver in the ring. But like I said,
he needs his full entrance back. He needs his NXT entrance.
They said it's too long. It's too long for TV. Like they don't have that kind of time. He's not no top guy to be getting.
They won't get. They let you come to the ring, play 12 video packages, show backstage segment, and then you still stand in the ring like this. That ain't too long.
That stuff makes money for them. They got to show all the commercials at them live events.
Absolutely.
No, not that. I'm saying like when you bring the person down to the ring, you go to commercial, come back, then you have a backstage segment. You got all this, like, then they back in the ring.
Here's the problem with that though, because every show is different. So like if it's one show may not take as much time versus another show based on whatever they got to do. That's just my assumption from a TV standpoint, where it's like, okay, you want to make sure you keep consistency. But if you feel like, hey, we might not be able to because it depends on what the show looks like this week. 1 week for 3 weeks straight, you got Karrion Kross Angels, but then week 4, it's got to be compressed because Roman's in town, and he's going to do a segment. He's going to go over a little bit longer, stuff like that. But once again, my assumption, but honestly, I don't know. But yeah. But Brother Hugh, biggest disappointments. I'm sorry, did you go already?
No, I didn't.
You said
it is.
Wow.
But I'm not going to speak on it. But I could say
I
like
was disappointed.
Something that happened. Something great that happened.
When he got released.
But look,
is he want to talk about Dolph?
CM Punk was the biggest disappointment. That whole A.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, brother.
But it turned into a year, honestly, for the wrestling industry.
Yeah.
So
that's the perfect way to put it.
I'm hoping that CM had that run that he deserves in the WWE as opposed to what he did in AEW. That's basically it.
So you're on the side of wanting CM Punk to have that run, because some people are like, like I said, Triple H and them got a youth movement, but also the locker room is different, and I feel like because the locker room is younger, they're giving Punk the respect that he feels like he deserves, which he rightfully deserves. Like I said,
he does.
It was him, and it was Daniel Bryan. Like he shattered the mold. He bucked against the system, and it gave him a shot, and it worked. And then he just walked away. But he gave way to the Daniel Bryans and everybody else that came after him. So,
yep, he deserves that run, 100%.
Yeah, I'm okay with it, Brother Hugh.
An attender, but a talent. But look, give him his due. Let him come here and make his money. Let him be the big boss, because he never got a chance to do that in AEW or WWE at the time.
He's making money.
Why not? Push him while you can before something happens.
Before you get hurt.
He
won't get hurt because he wasn't working.
Yeah, we say before something happens. No, that's real. But I'll say this simply: is my biggest disappointment in 2023, honestly, was Bray Wyatt just passing away, Jay Briscoe passing away. Just those two hit me the hardest, because Jay Briscoe and Mark Briscoe Chicken, they were just starting to get a mainstream run. They had done a spot with AEW, and it was a big deal, and they had a crazy run in TNA, during that time period, and then they signed those guys for Ring of Honor contracts, and I was like, man, Jay Briscoe has so much more to offer, you know what I mean? So that was disappointing. And Bray Wyatt, he took us on such a crazy and whimsical trip, and he had us trying to figure out something that was going on. And I feel like we never got an answer to who the heck all these characters were and where they came from, and the excitement of where that could possibly take us. We'll never get it now in the way we would have gotten it before. So that was probably the biggest disappointments for me, for the most part. But with the disappointments, you have the chance to hit the reset button. So this is the last question. Like, brothers, we did it. It's about 2 hours and 15 minutes in. Where we had to fit the entire year as much as possible as we can. But quick question, we can answer it rapid fire so we can wrap this up. Is WWE hitting the reset button in 2024? Are we seeing big returns? Are we seeing these big moments? Mercedes Moné tweeted something that was awfully whimsical for the holidays. You know what I mean? Royal Rumble's coming up. Is WWE hitting a reset? But Triple H is completely in charge now. Endeavor, TKO Sports made it very clear that Triple H is completely in charge of content creative, and Vince has no say-so in the process. From what we know, are they hitting the reset button? Are they saying, let's start this thing over? Because we're seeing so much talent be brought back. Authors of Pain, Paul Ellering, Brother Brandon said one of his biggest issues is the talent that got re-signed just to do nothing anyway. Johnny Gargano sat for a while before DIY got back together. Tommaso Ciampa still wearing camel pants, which looks dumb. So is Triple H, is WWE hitting the reset button going into 2024?
1,000%. I think so. When you look at everything that's happening, and I think it's a mutual agreement. And you Triple H said a lot in that interview with the homie Ariel Helwani, and he basically said, when there's breakdowns in communication, you let it take a step back and you come back. So, all right, let's have these conversations again. He was, in particular, this was about Mercedes. But doors are open. The biggest one was CM Punk. I always said that was his, that was what Hogan and Vince had with Bruno Sammartino. Now he's got that. Now if he come back, everybody's like, oh man, well, if those two didn't get along when we was there. So if he come back, we can all come back. So yeah, he's definitely opened the door. And like we said earlier, you don't want to go to war. It's you don't want to go to war with DX. DX Army is real.
Very
we
real.
talk about the NWO for life stuff, but that DX Army, that thing forever.
William Regal, Terry Taylor, all those guys are part of DX. At least they are now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what about you, Brother Brandon? What about you, Brother Hugh? Is WWE hitting the reset button going into 2024?
You going to?
Go ahead.
I don't know if they're hitting the reset button as opposed to positioning themselves.
That's a good way to put it. Do tell.
Yeah, I think they position themselves to take over and show talent that new car smell is over there. It's over with.
Mm-hmm.
That's a used car. Come over here now.
Yeah,
we're certified, because if the WWE is going to expand and we keep seeing these little hints of go do this, go do that, go do this, and especially with Endeavor being the brand they are,
right.
he's got to be getting ready to build to something bigger that we don't know the workings of it, because
very true.
You're pushing global talent in different ways. Like, we got all of these people showing these wrestlers, no, this can be your home. You can get your reps in, you can get your money, and you can still tour the world. Look at the PLEs. It's kind of like divided now. Some are here in the States, some are all over the world. So why not? And I keep holding steadfast. These NXT expansions got to be coming. And he's gonna need a roster. And I hate to say it, we got the B show at the pay-per-view, but that B show could still overtake the A show in other companies. You get what I'm saying? So I think he's positioned it for. He's positioned. I want to say resetting. He's positioned himself to be that. Okay, this is TKO wants me to do what? I got it. You gave me the keys. Watch how I drop this. Brother, plus, he loves the business. You can tell he loves it. He loves the business.
Yeah, that he does. Brother Hugh, do you agree with Brother Brandon? It's more about positioning.
I agree with both of them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's more about evolving.
Okay.
Just taking things to the next level.
Yeah.
I mentioned it earlier. We talk about the expansion.
Right. The global
expansion. That's always great. Right. That's always great for just the wrestling business as a whole. Yeah, I mean, it opens up plenty of doors for just wrestling in general. So, I mean, there's a lot of proud wrestling fans out there. Yeah, go ahead and cop the tea. We'll drop that link a little bit later in the description. But there's a lot of proud wrestling fans out there, and it's a good time right now to be a proud wrestling fan, because we have a lot of great wrestling, great entertainment on TV right now.
I think that's the beauty of it. At the end of the day, it's like Brian. I think he said earlier. He's like, man, when's the last time it's been so much? And that's where we are.
I'm literally excited. I'm literally excited for every day of the week now. For the most part,
it's hard for us for our generation to get to that point. So I think it's the consensus, ladies and gentlemen, that 2023 was a pretty good goddamn year for pro wrestling. And man, I can't thank you brothers enough for bringing your expertise to the table, as you always do, for us to have this conversation and kind of wrap up the year, man. We, as a brand, have done a lot of great things. James Culture's done a lot of great things. Brian H., Brother Hugh, the Belt King, Brandon Guy. You guys are.
Did you say belts? I heard belts.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. I'm huge fans of you guys personally and all your work, and I can't thank you enough for what we do. I don't think it's too many people out there that's better than us, man. And I want everybody, excuse me, everybody that's out there to follow our social media platforms at Wrestling Wrealm, subscribe, to our Patreon, Twitch, and YouTube channel at The Wrestling Wrealm. We're going to wrap this up. We appreciate everybody for joining us out there. We will see you in 2024. 2023 owes us nothing. It's been a great year as professional wrestling fans and so much more to come. So we thank you guys. We appreciate you. Catch us next week. It will be officially 2024 for the first show of the year, The Wrestling Wrealm. 2 Sweets up. We'll see you guys. Peace out. Be safe. Happy holidays. We'll see you in 2024.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yes!